And welcome, race fans, to another episode here at CRN with CSRL. Tonight is their 2-hour finale here at Road America. Drivers have been out there warming up, getting their practice laps in, and getting ready to go. Carl has the points. I checked on the Discord, and I'm not sure they're quite correct on there, so we'll wait until he checks in here shortly. But we're going to go ahead and give you a rundown of tonight's start and field, as they will take this track here for about 2 hours, or actually for 2 hours. So we'll go ahead and get that lineup out here for everybody to see. So just want to welcome everybody that's out there watching, and I guess sit back and relax. We're going to be here a while as these drivers tackle on a pretty fun track. I've been here a bunch of times myself, and puts on some great racing, some very technical areas, some heavy braking areas, and as well. So there's a lot of different challenges along with being over 2 hours long. Tonight's starting order for qualifying here. Let's see if I can get these pulled up for everybody. For your LMP2 Pro, we'll go ahead and have why is it starting like that? Anyway, so we'll go ahead and have Dace Keeling on the pole here with Craig Jancic on the outside, and then Rich Pachuco, Herb Pineda, Trent Blaylock, Bryce Reiner, Savani Madrigal, Devin Young, Anthony Hutchinson, and Jim Dutton. And then I think, I've got a few more there in the Pro Series with Glenn Lazon and Jack Ollenberg. Back in the LMP2 AM results here for your field, where they sit amongst each other. There's going to be Bevan McCombs with Paul Smith, William Burrell, Jim Herrick, Michael Berlowski, Paul Bailey, John Espada, Avery Pedley, Brandon Potts, and then that is all of your LMP2 pros. GT3 pros here, we'll start here with this start door here. Christopher Hamilton will go ahead and snag the pole for the GT3 pros. Then Noah Bourgeois out there as well. Kyle Kober, Ricky Renner, Greg Conaway, Marco Antania, Alex Zart, Michael Schwartz, Jason Phillips, Tyler Torville. And I think we have some more yet. We got Frank Pisano back there. That is your GT3 pros, or GT3 AMs. Gonna find them with Christian Torres, Cameron Burke, Logan Branson, Ian Southern, John Newman, Jay Little. So 6 AMs out there. A couple rookies still floating around here, as well as James Smith and Ryan Merriam are out there for your GT3 rookies. So wish all the drivers the best of luck here. Like I said, it's a very nice track. It's fast, a lot of opportunities to pass and make those unique dives for a position to get to the inside. And it's going to be interesting. And one of the things I've found out lately, especially running these LMP2s, is they're horrible on cold tires. So turn 1 and turn 2 down the downhill is going to be pretty interesting, and we'll see what drivers can get them tires warmed up. You can see a bunch of them weaving back and forth, trying to get some heat in those things, as it's going to hopefully make for a better start for those. But 2-hour race here tonight, so I think a little bit, obviously you want speed, but you need to be able to be consistent and get out there and finish this thing. So yeah, definitely going to be a good one here. Back with the GT3s, we'll scroll back a little bit. You see they're doing the exact same thing. GT3 is, to me, a little bit easier on cold tires than the LMP2, but this still can be a tricky habit, and but much more kind of equivalent, easier to kind of stay grouped together with the GT3s. But with the track having some technical areas, that's going to allow the drivers to kind of separate just a little bit. But a lot of drafting can be used here as well, to make a move or get the edge that you need going into a corner. Yeah, so it's going to be a good one here. Waiting for them to get started here as they work their way around. Let me get everything up on the screen here for you. We'll start with the track map and the tower, so you can see who's running where, along with your class display. See who is actually your leader. And then as we're doing that, I think there's enough time I can go ahead and show the start grid here with everybody's pretty face and car that they're driving here tonight, as we'll scroll through who's on what row from the front to the back. You know, obviously start with your LMP2s. Tonight is the last and final race here for the season, so obviously we'll have some crowned champions tonight. I do know that Dace Keeling had a pretty good lead, and I know Craig Jancic wanted to at least come in here with the opportunity to have a chance. And he's gonna need to probably have days to have like an interesting night, or one that's troublesome, as he's been the driver to kind of catch here for the evening. But Craig Jancic pulling a late season kind of charge, kind of close up the points there for the pros. That's the only one that I'm truly aware of at the moment. Like I said, Carl is usually the one keeping track of points here for CSRLs. Obviously, we have a lot of things going on. I've got the 2-hour event here with CSRL, and also another race will happen right around 8:15 or so, and we'll have our sister crew broadcasting that there with Pit Road Speed Limit Racing, so should be a good one over there as well. So if this one ends before then, obviously feel free to go over there and watch to see how their race has ended, or bring up multiple tabs while they're going on at the same time. Coming around the final corner here, pace car's about to come in, and I'll go ahead and drop this grid here so we can see at the start of this race here as Dace Keeling will lead the field down. Craig Jancic wanting to hurry up and possibly get right behind him, or even get a better start. You can see them wheel to wheel as they come up the hill, and then you see Barney standing up there with the flag ready to go. The flag is in the air, and away they go as they head down there. It does look like Dace Keeling's going to get the jump here at the start, and then Craig Jancic quickly there in the P number 2. So looks like we got some going on here. I'll try to click through and see how the first turn goes. Does look like that goes very well. We'll go ahead back down to the next turn. Dace Keeling is still keeping things going here. We'll go kind of click through the field here just a little bit. You can see a lot of drivers falling to play, but some dust and dirt in the air. You see some cars across the track. Jim Dutton doing some weaving and diving already. He's made it through there. We'll go back and check out what happened there shortly, but we're going to head back to the GT3s. They are now underway, getting around turn number 1, coming down the hill here to turn number 2 as Christopher Hamilton is out in the lead with Kyle Kobler and P number 2, Nora Bourgeois back here. And you can see bumpers still left behind by the LMP2s. The GT3s making it through. It does look like they all make it through, unlike the LMP2s. And I think that those cold tires had something to do with that here. But back out front is Bryce Reiner. So something happened to your points leader. So we'll have to go back and check out to see what happened with that. But your current leader right here for your LMP2s is going to be Bryce Reiner, but Craig Jancic there in P number 2, trying to look back through everything that was happening and what happened to Dace Keeling. And it looks like Dace Keeling did go off track back right here. We'll see what happened to your points that are early on, and it was involved there, and you could just see the massive damage. No rear end at all for Dace Keeling there on the exit of turn number 2. We're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way, see if we can see exactly what happened. So we're gonna pause, do a little bit of rewind, and some massive damage there by your points leader. And this is the break that I'm sure Craig Jancic was needing. You can see the 6 in the lead heading down into turn number 2. And I'll speed it up just a little bit, and it does look like maybe, yep, getting a little bit loose. Them cold tires just not wanting to grip on the 6, sends them across the track. Everybody taking evasive action, it's just spinning around. Does look like a few drivers kind of getting involved there just a little bit, trying to move. But what are you going to do when you're sitting in the middle of the track? Not much of anything. Gets nailed in the rear there by the number 46 up in the air, and that's when the chaos starts as the drivers, I'm sure, behind them are trying to slow down. But Dace Keeling still in the middle of the track with nowhere to go, and parts just kind of flying everywhere there. It's a tragedy in the beginning for a lot of them drivers. And you can see a lot of them kind of coming. Well, we'll get the rundown here of who's down in the pits here. That does look like Dace Keeling, Anthony Hutchinson, Bevan McCombs, and a few others. Ricky Renner has found himself back a little bit as well, so not quite sure what happened there. I got a lot to kind of go through here early, as it's been very interesting. But your early leader here is going to be Bryce Reiner, followed closely by his teammate of Craig Jancic, and they need to use this time, obviously, to kind of settle in and maybe start breaking away from the pack and make it almost inevitable where they could just run away with this thing here. Back with Rich back there, another teammate out here tonight, or at least sport the same paint scheme. sitting in P number 3. So teammates running 1, 2, 3. Savani Madrigal back there in 4th, and Devin Young for your top 5 for your GT3 pros and just field in general. In your top running LMP2 AM is going to be Paul Smith, sitting there in 7th place overall, but obviously first there, and then he has a little ways. So you got a nice little gap there back to Brandon Potts, which is running 2nd for the LMP2 pros. Jim Herrick back there in, LMP2 AMs. Jim Herrick back there in 3rd for the AMs, sitting in 11th overall. Then Michael Brolowski, William Burrell. Herb Pineda, the pro, and back in the field just a little bit. It's going to have to take his time and work his way through the field. They do have a fast repair, but obviously you got to get into the pits here to get that repair done. And some of these drivers maybe calling it early here, but you're going to see which one of those drivers can kind of get back out there. And you can see Dace Keeling has made it in, got that tow completed, got the fast repair. Has a lot of work tonight, but he does have a lot of time. Obviously, we talked about 2 hours here. Now go ahead and bring up the session state, because I like to have that up there. It shows you how much time they got remaining. Yeah, very interesting start for the LMP2 field. But back to GT3s there. As you can see, Pete number 2 going around there behind Christopher Hamilton, having problems, and that would be the likes of, I believe, or Michael Brolowski. Let me see if that will happen back there. No, that's not him, so it has to be Noah. So we'll go take a check here with Noah back in the M&M's machine, going off track. Gonna lose some time. So Noah's been out of in and out of the car in the past few weeks, but finding a little trouble here early on for Noah. So, but next thing up on the thing, I'm trying to get caught up with things, but Frank Pisano has an issue back here. We'll see what happened to Frank. Going too wide there and just getting closed in, and just a car was there, sends him off to the side. So no real damage, just loss of time and positions here early on, but Frank Pisano will get back out on the track and keep on going. So we'll go ahead back live here and make sure we bring up the driver's information. Here we go. So we can tell you who are on. But Christopher Hamilton out to a nice little lead over the field right at the moment. He's got a 2.8-second lead over Greg Conaway. I haven't talked about Greg very much, but you see right there also the LMP2s continue trying to get around there, and that was, I believe, Devin Young. So Devin Young, after talking about him, has found some troubles as well. So yeah, just some of the LMP2 drivers really pushing it hard here early, find themselves in a long night, trying to come back and get as many points as they can to finish this thing out, or maybe even calling it early. But I want to give up until that fast repair is at least used and give this thing a try. This is a long race. They're going to have probably not one, but maybe 2, possibly 3 pit stops here. My guess is at least 2 pit stops. Typically a full tank on the LMP2, you can go about 45 minutes, and here they're only running 70%. So that's going to at least give them 2 full pit stops here tonight, and probably taking tires to get back out there. But you can see how dangerous on lap 1 it was with fresh tires. But here is the two teammates battling as Craig Jancik's going to get around Ricky Renner there and get things rolling here. But hot on the tail of the 87 and 90s, and he's not going to let the 97 go and run away with this thing just yet, as they've been having a heck of a season. Started off a little slow for Craig, and I guess the second half for Bryce Reiner, not Ricky Renner, Bryce Reiner, having a little bit of a slower second half of the season. But Rich up back there in P3s, being followed closely by Savani, and Glenn Dazan just over the hill, breaking away there, and you can see the 6 of Dace Keeling trying to work hard, and has some cars to get around. He's got to get some time back, and has to run an extremely fast race in order to kind of complete it here, to give him a chance, because I think at this point, the points were within range, of Craig Jancik to win. This is a double points race, and if Dace doesn't complete the race and finishes last, This thing could have been in the bag for Craig and possibly winning the championship over a bad number turn 2 after having a fantastic season here for Dace Keeling. But drivers enjoying the track out there at the moment. We'll go back with some of the GT3s here. They got some good battling going on. We'll go back here with John Espada and that BMW in between the Porsche of John Newman and Ian Southern right behind him, followed closely by Jay Little. So some great battling going on back here, and this would be in 29th to 32nd overall, and obviously do 6th for the AMs for the John Espada. No, John Espada. Why do I have John? And he's in a GT3, not an LMP2, so he should be a little bit farther up the field. But so excuse me for any mistakes on where maybe some of these positions here to be. Like I said, Carl typically broadcasts and starts this thing off, so maybe running with something that he didn't get a chance to update for me before he had to step out this evening to support his kid out there playing some baseball. He doesn't like some Little League baseball. Going and watching the kiddos out there and swinging the bats and running around the bases and having a good time. It does look like
I don't run moss. That's I just joining you guys here for the season finale. But long night, unfortunately. But good to see that it's a long night here for season finale here for the CSRL and I'm saying GT series. As we see GT Christian GT Stores go for like nothing to see there.
And nothing to see there, and I apologize if Carl sounds like he's in a garbage can at the moment, but it's obviously we do what we can to get out here and support the drivers for sure each and every week, and just trying to have a good time here, and just the track is being a little tricky, Carl. It's it was a rough start for the LMP2s. Your leader, Dace Keeling, went for a ride and had to tow and pit, kind of opening the door for a possibility for Craig Jancic to kind of steal that points championship away. The best, I guess, is the best scenario for Craig. I guess what gives Dace still a fighting chance is that there's plenty of racing remaining, but he's currently back in 34th position overall, and obviously down in 11th spot for your LMP2 pros. So Dace is going to, like I said, have a night filled of no mistakes, got to be perfect and more than perfect to kind of get up through these tough drivers that they have out here. But Craig Jancic still out there leading here now over Bryce Reiner, and just kind of starting to pull away just a little bit, not by much, but only by half second. That half second down the straightaway, at least Bryce can stay within the tow here, and I'm sure Craig's pretty comfortable with his teammate half a second behind him. And then another teammate not too far behind as well is Rich Petruccio out there here tonight as well. Savani Madrigal is still hanging in there, is basically on that lapped onto that rear bumper. Go back here with Jim Dutton though, as he's having a battle of his own with the likes of Paul Smith and Jack Oldenburg. So kind of in the middle at the moment. So it's good to see Jim out there having a good run up in the 8th position overall at the moment, up 4 spots, is your CSRL league owner, and out there and getting things done and trying to have himself a good night here tonight, Carl.
Yeah, he kind of needs one here tonight, and it's been a rough season, obviously up there in the pro class, and there's plenty of really good drivers up there, and not taking a shot at Jim, but he's got a lot of heavyweights up there, and he's kind of punching up in class right now, trying to do what he can, but there's only so much you can do, unfortunately, and especially with first season in the LMP2s and first season here for Multiclass as well, so it can get a little bit tough. For Dace Keeling, you mentioned obviously the issues at the beginning. If there's ever a race that you can kind of have an issue and still come back from it, it's going to be this one. It's going to be the 2-hour season finale. He's got plenty of time to try and make a comeback, and right now it's got to be, it can't be I got to try and get back and win this race. It can't be I got to try and get back and get a podium. It's got to be damage control. It's got to be just get what you can get, be smart about it, don't make a second mistake, and try and work your way through the field.
Yeah, we were just talking to the crowd out there, just kind of let them know how difficult cold tires are with the LMP2, and they sure showed their ugly head by turn number 2. And it didn't look anything obscure or anything that Dace typically wouldn't do, and just a little bit of throttle, and that rear end came right in front of the field, which caused a big catastrophe here for the 6. But out here right now, do see that Avery Pedley having an incident here going around here. It does look like it's solo with no damage, so that's always a good sign, but just losing some time here for Avery as he takes that car back heading the right direction here. But the field's starting to stretch out here just a little bit. The battles are kind of minimal at the time. Jim Dutton in one of the closest battle is they have some traffic, but this is the stretch down the kind of like, I want to say the back stretch, but it's this stretch here.
It is actually named the middle stretch. It is actually named the middle stretch, and it's and that's basically what it is. It's kind of it's a straightaway in the middle of the track. So it makes perfect sense. But yeah, that's what I was gonna kind of mention, is that it's a good track to have a finale at. It's a good track to have a 2-hour finale at. And I'm really surprised that this isn't a location for anything more, major-wise when it comes to the special events for iRacing. I know they have the, kind of the historic race here with the Nissan and the Audi. But to have a multi-class race, or even only LMP2s or only GT3, something like that, I feel like this is a good track for it. So I'm happy to see the season finale here at Road America, because you do have the front stretch, you have the middle stretch, you have the long run down to Canada Corner after you come out of the after you come out of Speedville there. It's a fun track, and it's one where it's wide enough you can get some passes done, but it's got some technical sections as well that you need to pay attention to.
Yeah, a lot of them in unique areas too. A lot of the stretches kind of end on a downhill, downhill and a turn. Oh, the first one's downhill and a right. The second one is downhill and a left, and then obviously the Canadian corner there. I mean, it's a double right-hander and up a hill, so there's a little bit of everything. And then you even got this little technical section here right on top of Noah Bourgeois. And this here is I call it the danger zone here with a lot of cars, because it's really a difficult place to pass, but you can get the run out of the corner like Noah is right here, and then you're going to dive into the inside, and you're not going to get the speed, but you got to do good braking, hold it tight, and hopefully that car's not on the outside and you're able to get a rough push out. But if not, hold it tight like Noah did right here, and then it just kind of glide around here the carousel, and then you're going to get on it here. And this is flat out. There's no lifting here. If you hit this corner right, you just got to hit it just right. You can cut the corner here just a little bit like Noah did. He put the right sides on the curb, and then run down here. And this is the other area where if you get the run, you can get the pass, because you can get to the inside, but in front of them, they're too wide here, and he's just going to fall behind. And who's he going to go with? It does look like the 77 got a little bit loose, but not loose enough. So Noah's just able to kind of go through this next section here, single file. And if I'm Noah, I'm trying to set these two up here for a great exit here to get my run, to get the draft and work into turn number 1, as this is the final stretch up the hill here. Even with the hills here, Carl, another thing we haven't talked about yet is fuel mileage and stuff, and you can save a lot of fuel here. There's a lot of areas you can just let these cars coast on down these hills and get things done. But if you're one with a heavy foot like I am, you don't save too much fuel. But there's a lot of spaces to kind of drag this one out.
I mean, there's a lot of corners that can be tricky on this track. Certainly the braking down into turn number 5, the end of the middle stretch right there. It's downhill, and it's a little bit more than 90 degrees, so it can be a little bit rough to get through that corner. Certainly even at the top of the corner there, it's at turn 6, can be a little bit, because it's a little bit blind, and seems a little bit tighter. The carousel, Speedville, you're kind of waiting to finally get back on the throttle through there. But and even the kink, the kink, it is flat out, but if you don't catch it right, you're gonna be sliding and drifting out and possibly get down to the off the track, out of the exit of that. But to me, the toughest corner. we lose you?
No. We're good. We're just a big old battle here for towards the beginning of this field, and you know, these GT3s are just battling out here, and they're pretty close. They're not quite as stretched out as the LMP2s are.
Yeah, to me, the toughest corner is not because of the difficulty, but the final corner. You know, coming through that final corner right there, it's a little bit maybe off camber. It's kind of a little bit blind trying to find the exit of it and drifting out there to the end. But it's really the most important corner on the track because it leads you to the longest straightaway on the track, and any extra speed that you can get out of that corner, you're going to carry it all the way down the front stretch. So it's a very, very important corner, and probably the most important corner on the track, and that's why I think it can be the most difficult to absolutely nail it every time.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to hit for sure. You know, and it's at the point where you just push the car through. Through the kink, through Canada corner, through some S's, and now the final turn you're trying to get the great run. Your tires could be heated up and just pretty nasty. You can see them going almost 3 wide here, right there in front of Cameron Burke, running the number 67 here tonight, and Safiu running a little bit wide, trying to get the run, but you see the likes of they're gonna go around, and that was Cameron Burke's gonna hit the wall here. Along with Michael Schwartz. Major damage for a few of them cars as the LMP2s were making their way through, and we'll go ahead and see what happened here to those drivers one more time. And you can see the blinking lights of the number 97, but you can see these two getting together here on the straightaway, maybe just a bobble, trying to get on the throttle, and that's where the 202 goes around of Schwartz, and does look like the 67 got a piece as well, front end damage there in that car, but they did get going, but they're definitely going to have some damaged cars here. We'll back up with Craig Jancic as he's trying to keep a good pace going, not trying to allow Dace Keeling to get anywhere near the front of the pack. We're trying to work the field here through the Kings now ahead, and this is Canada corner here as Jancic is around. Does get around Noah Bourgeois. Goes through Canada corner, just got to hold on to it tight. Don't get too overzealous here. And, with the track being, it's not super long, but very technical. And with these long straightaways, the LMP2s do have superior straightaway speed, especially when you hit that 5th gear. As soon as you're about halfway through 5th gear, you can close down GT3 pretty easily, especially if you got a little bit of their draft as well, kind of help out. But where the LMP2 suffers is the launch out of the corners, and it's very, very hard to come out of a corner and just throttle down and make a pass. So it's really about kind of backing the corners up just a little bit, setting yourself up, for a nice clean entry. You can see Craig doing anything possible to kind of, not annoy the other driver. What he's doing is just saying, "Hey, I'm about to pass you. I'm here." Just kind of a visual kind of cue. Sometimes, Carl, I don't even notice somebody when they're flashing at me as I'm trying to, focus on the track and not my mirror.
Yeah, it's especially if you're, where you're kind of the top class. You're not really looking for the, for other drivers in your class. Certainly not looking for the lower class to try and be passing you. Hopefully not. If you are, then you get some bigger issues. But yeah, I mean, certainly with the GT3s, when you're in a big battle like that, I mean, you see a bunch of cars all kind of on top of each other. You're looking for the other competitors and looking to try and see, where do I need to be, where do I need to defend, and you're trying to defend against your fellow competitors. And you're not even really thinking about some of the the other cars coming up on you, and especially when you got 3-4 other GT3s on your relative, you may not notice that that 4th car that's down there is an LMP2, and they're looking to get by. So it can get a little tricky sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in battles, kind of like Jim Dutton was doing right there. I had to get around one of the GT3s, and he slowed up for the GT3, which is what he should do, obviously, because the GT3 is still racing out there. And in a technical area, so very hard to pass, but found the opportunity to kind of throw a block there on Huracaneta and keep him behind him, slowing down his momentum that he had, because he almost was able to use that slower car to get the better of Jim there, and almost put side by side, putting those two in a compromising situation, exiting that technical little S section there on top of the hill. So it's definitely multi-class racing is an art, and there's an art to being the fast car and getting around people, and there's an art of being the slower class, still racing, and giving room for the faster car because they want to get by. They know that you're going to hold them up, and it's trying to give them the opportunity, be predictable, stay on the racing line. The faster car is going to get around you, but sometimes burping the throttle, allowing that pass to happen just a little bit and just lose like a tenth, or 2/10 for the lap, advice like 3 or 4 seconds because you wanted to take them, race them into the corner or not let the pass happen before a corner. So it's just kind of on the drivers to kind of do that dance back and forth with each other. They've been racing for 9 races so far. This is the 10th one, and obviously twice as long. We're only 25 minutes into this race so far, and it won't be too much longer. The LMP2s did get a fuel hike, so they will be able to go a little bit longer than they have. I know it was a last-minute change here for the drivers, but it's kind of one that they're kind of needed, or they would have been out there. They would have done like 7 laps, and they would have been pitting. So for 2 hours, you get 7 laps at less than 2 minutes. They would have been in like every 15-20 minutes, to get this thing done here tonight, and it's probably a little low. The LMP2 is a fuel hog. Is not very great with fuel as far as when you're outright just trying to run the snot out of it. But what drivers are doing right now, but kind of looking up front here, we're with the Rich Pachuca at the moment, or excuse me, Trent Blaylock, as some drivers are starting to come in already. You got Rich Pachuca in, Glenn Lozana's in, Trent Blaylock's in, Jack Oldenburg's in, Jim Dutton's come in. You can see the whole line of them coming in the pits. So 25 minutes, Carl, not even hitting that 30-minute mark, and it's going to play big. That means we got to stop again. That's before the hour. They're going to have to stop at the half hour. So we're looking at 2 more pit stops, possibly a third here tonight. So people out there stretching it just a little bit, like the likes of Craig Jansick, that maybe if you can get an extra lap or 2 here, it might convert to either a very, very short stop and go, or maybe being able to execute and get it to the end. With the fuel change, obviously from 50% to 70%, to get them few extra laps. It's just on the drivers that they calculate right, and their speed and their consistency to get this thing here to the end. But it does look like I'm losing Carl in and out here just a little bit. Obviously,
just on the computer, so you can hear me a little bit better.
There he goes. we got him back. I took him out of the garbage can, folks.
Yeah, I'm off of pit road. I'm up here in the booth now with Jimmy to watch the rest of this thing, and yeah, just not to go back, but just to kind of dig in a little bit further. Liz, we're not the best drivers out there. We're not we're not coaches by any means, but we've been around multi-class racing a little bit, both in league format and in plenty of the other special events. That's the only chance we get to run any more special events. But I mean, when it comes down to it, yeah, if you're the slower car, if there's a car coming up on you, and it's not just multi-class, it's the same thing even when it comes to ovals. If you're a lap car, the easier you can make it on the person getting around you, the less time you're going to lose ultimately. I don't care if you're in a battle or not, if you help the person get around you, if you slow up a little bit, you don't compromise your corner. If you try and battle them through the corner, you're both going to lose time, and then all of a sudden now you just got passed like you were going to get passed anyway, but you also got passed for position as well because you were trying to be aggressive for absolutely no reason. It's better to just fall back in line. If you can fall back in line early enough that you can still take the the quote-unquote preferred line through the corner, that's even better. It's less of a chance of you making a mistake just by letting somebody pass you that is going to pass you anyway. So you got to be smart about it. And there's so many times that it's the opposite. It is people trying to, I don't want to go a lap down, or I'm in a battle, so I got to try and, I got to try and force this. I got to try and stay on the outside here. But like you see right there, the 11 backing off, staying behind the LMP2. There's no reason to drive through that corner on the outside and compromise his corner by doing so. It's not a good move for either party. You put both parties in, the vortex of danger, and you don't need to. Just be smart about it. Let the car go by, get right back in line, and you're both safer for it.
Yeah, on board right now, where Bryce Reiner, he's heading down the middle stretch here, and you can see he's got a little bit of space to kind of get up there up to Chris Hamilton, but he's not going to have enough time to make a late dive. It would be extremely late dive, so just kind of set him up, and this here part's tricky, and it takes a little bit between Bryce and Chris to kind of make that pass happen. And right in this section, this is very difficult. Chris does the lets up on the throttle, allows Bryce to keep on going, so Bryce can continue, because Craig Jancik's, out to a little over 2 second lead here over Bryce, so Bryce don't want him to get too far away. Chris is in the lead, so if he were to kind of would have took Bryce into the corner where they went side by side, not only would Bryce would have lost some time to Craig, but Chris would have lost time to Kyle Kobler. Kyle Kobler only 3 seconds behind Chris Hamilton, so that could have been worse, to try to be like, well, I was here. You don't want to get in a battle with another class, so just let the pass happen, especially the faster car in a difficult area. Sometimes it does put you in a very uncomfortable place, so if you're used to hitting the apex and then the next thing you know, you have to work your way around on the outside of a corner, if you don't practice those corners like that, you can find yourself a bit of a pickle, or very, very uncomfortable for sure, or running off the track, or doing whatever. But you can run too wide on this racetrack with somebody all the way around. It's just all about give and take for each other, making sure you're not washing out and taking each other out or coming across their nose. And we've seen that kind of earlier in down off the middle stretch there. Coming down that corner, and somebody was there and didn't realize he was that far in, and then close in, and somebody goes sliding out. But this corner right here where Kyle's at the moment is one of the trickier ones coming out of the two. That's the one I always seem to tend to have issues. Always getting off track. I drive that thing so hard, I push it off the track just a little bit too much, or just missing the mark. And this one here has never been really too bad for myself here. It's one that gets blown a lot because you carry all that speed from the outside. And then up here underneath the Corvette sign here, this corner here, these kind of left, right, it can be quick, but if you set it up right, you can be all out going through this corner right here like Kyle is, going up through your gears, coming down another hill just a little bit to make another left-handed sharp turn here that leads into the carousel. So by doing a good job here for Kyle here, as he's 19th overall, as he's getting past there on the outside there I'm not quite sure who that is at the moment. I think that's it's not Bryce. I think it's Rich Petrucco out there, as Rich is now down in the backstretch area, down through the kink, and then heading into Canada corner, and trying to catch up to Savani, as Savani had an excellent pit stop, putting him back out in the third, so got him out in front of Rich here, and trying to run down Bryce and Craig as they're starting to walk away just a little bit. He's about 6 seconds back from Bryce and 9 seconds back from the leader at the moment, Savani is. And right behind him, he's kind of had a nice little gap back to Rich as he's 6 seconds back. And then P number 5 overall here for the LMP2s is going to be Devin Young, and has had a pretty solid season. Teammates there with Dace Keeling, and just pretty consistent all season. They've kind of been in the battle here for top fives the majority of the season, so doing another great job here tonight at Road America. So but yeah, that's your field at the moment. Back with your GT3s. I've been spending a little too much time, I think, with the LMP2, so let's go check to see what's going on back here. Not very many battles on the field here per se, but we'll go back here. Cameron Burke, he does have Logan Branson there in front of him, that's kind of leading the GT3 AMs at the moment. Logan had a difficult time last week, and is having a much better run so far this week. So, and obviously we're still under that that 45-minute umbrella. So they're still kind of in like a normal everyday race, but this thing gets an hour and 15 extra minutes here tonight, multiple pit stops. So pit entry is huge. Fuel, which becomes, you have to watch the fuel a lot closer because you got to pit multiple times. Damage, you get one fast repair and you can see that was Logan going way out to the right. I haven't seen that in quite some time. But it's definitely, Cameron's running down Logan here at the moment on the heels here, trying to keep Logan underneath pressure. And when you do that, when you keep someone underneath pressure, especially if they're racing the rear view mirror, you can maybe force them into a mistake. And on most newer drivers, I know I do, you can tend to make your own mistake and then give up a position. You're like, oh, he's coming. And if you just drive your own dang line and hit your marks, you'd probably be just fine, and then, if he's faster, but you end up you start seeing him close a little bit because, that person had a little better corner than you. And then you get all nervous and then you miss remark by, half a car or something. And next thing you know, you're going too slow, trying to get the car to turn, or you're off in the grass, and you can't get the throttle down. So pressure, it becomes a big thing, especially with some newer drivers. Most of these drivers been around a little bit, but yeah, this field is broken up into pro and am for a reason. It's kind of, not only necessarily on speed, but like how long somebody's been out there. You talked about, Jim out there trying to get things done, but it does look like something happened here with Jim, that he is now off the track, and there he goes. It was happened on his lap 16. So we'll go ahead and see what happened to Jim here as, just getting doored by one of the...
Oof. That was just the beginning of it, the door. That was a nasty one for sure.
Ouchie. And that's how fast, things can happen. You go out there and you see them things, and it's not what you want to see for, the drivers to be involved with. You just definitely, you try your best not to get involved. And when you're carrying speed in certain areas, things like that can be like an explosion, because things are just so fast, and a wrong move or the car gets out of balance, it really does take there's a lot of patience in some of these passes. And this is a 2-hour race. This isn't a 45-minute, so the need for a little more patience is there. And then I think after the first hour elapses, Carl, I think we're going to see drivers maybe the ones that don't do a lot of endurance racing start maybe showing some signs of fatigue, maybe hitting a mark here and there, or a braking spot, or heaven forbid, coming up into the pits and not getting slowed down and getting a black flag. There's so many things that can happen in an endurance race, and that's kind of why I like endurance racing. One, I've never been the fastest person out on the track. It was like rare, and like something happened and like they put me in a lobby full of people that just started or something. But you get out there, and if you can be consistent for a long period of time, we've done endurance races where you see people start back in like 40th position and finish in the top 5 or even win. And that's just getting out there and just being consistent. And obviously when the super long endurance races, you're swapping drivers. So imagine like Craig Jancic and Bryce Ryan are just being their teammates, and they've run special events before together, but it's Craig Jancic's speed and then Bryce Reiner's speed, and Craig Jancic's speed and Bryce Reiner's speed, and then back and forth. But those two drivers are relying on each other to keep the car clean, not getting involved in a situation with some lap traffic or some slower traffic. We'll go back here with Avery Pedley as he's working his way up through the field, and obviously with a bad start, and slowly but surely, but plenty of time to be. I am going to beat all of the GT3s here tonight. That is my goal. I do not want one single person in front of me. That's
It's a good start.
Yeah, and I hate cold tires. I keep telling Carl as we're practicing for the 24-hour event that's coming up. It's going to be hosted by Majors 24. That the cold tires are just absolutely wicked. or horrible. You could take your time. Today I was in second gear. I was barely any throttle, and the rear end just came around like somebody just hit me. What the heck happened? I had no clue. So I wasn't surprised to see a lap 1 incident on cold tires happen. And obviously I don't know quite what these drivers did as far as tires go, Carl. But being out there for 30 minutes, and with the cold tire issue, I wouldn't be surprised if they only take tires once tonight. So maybe like at the halfway point, like their second pit stop. So if somebody came in, didn't take tires, I wouldn't have blamed them because your tires were already warmed up. They're already good to go. You didn't lose much speed, and you could see the drivers off here in the grass here following each other down through out of turn number 2. And it was a close one there by Jack Oldenburg. But Scott has slowed up and did not get into the number 11 there. So it was I'm sure a brown pants moment. You see the likes of the 8 back there as well, and that's got so many drivers out here. We're at 40 drivers again tonight, by the way. The finale, a 2-hour finale here with CSRL, and again for like the 8th time this season, 40 plus drivers. Not the largest field we've had, but their average has to be over 40 drivers a race this season.
I think maybe only one race this season they actually dipped under 40, and maybe I'm even wrong with that. But as you bring up the 2-hour, just to go back, I'm not sure if you covered the one comment from RH Relics. They don't do 2-hour races every week. It's just a 2-hour season finale. Their typical race is a 45-minute race. That's what their weekly is. And then for the season finale, they do a 2-hour double points season finale, which is what you're seeing here tonight. I like to kind of dig in sometimes and learn about the tracks and learn about things. And one thing I had a question on. I understand that this track is, of course, now I just randomly lost my house. There we go. I know this track is located in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, so it's close to Canada. But it got me wondering. Some corners I completely understand. I understand why. Like at Le Mans, you have Indianapolis is the name of one of the corners because it's a corner that's kind of shaped like an Indianapolis kind of corner. There's some corners like Daytona now has Le Mans or Le Mans has Daytona corner because they kind of mirror each other, and some of the corners make sense why they're named a certain thing. But Canada Corner here at Road America, I kind of wonder, I'm like, why is it called Canada Corner? Like, is it the one closest to Canada? Is it, why is it exactly named Canada Corner? Well, had to do some digging. Google is my friend.
I'm going to take a guess here. Is it because it's sort of like the double right-hander at Canadian Tire?
No, because Canada Corner is actually just the right-hander, just the 90-degree right-hander, and then it's got a little kick after that. But I think Canada Corner just the right-hander. But apparently, it's a mix of racing lore, geography, so partially that it's close to Canada, but also off-track antics. With the biggest fan and driver theory being this. It's nicknamed the Stash. Track workers reportedly discovered a large number of Canadian beer cans and Canadian cigarette cartons hidden in the bushes around this specific turn or on early race weekends, cementing the name of Canada Corner. So, Canadian beer, Canadian cigarettes, and this is Canada Corner right here. Enough said. I mean, whether that's the
I know
lore
where
or
I'm
not,
going to go get loaded again.
Exactly. That is why it is named Canada Corner, and whether that's the official reason or not, that's what I'm going by.
I mean, it's definitely an interesting tale there of track lore for sure. And I'm sure some of these drivers might want to visit that corner and maybe pick up whether they're celebrating or trying or forget some of the things that happened. But we'll go back with Dace Keeling. We've seen that he had a very rough start. Has worked his way back up past all the GT3s, and now is at the back of the LMP2 field in ninth for the LMP2 the pros. He's running 10th for the pros, but he's in 15th overall. So he has 5 more cars to get around to get to the back of the LMP2 pros. So plenty of time still. This driver, you want to talk about somebody on a mission, kind of a goal here tonight, and to not lose a championship, it's the 6 of Dace Keeling.
Yeah, just a reminder, coming into tonight, he had it was down under 100 points. It was down to, if I can do some quick math, 84-point lead for Dace Keeling. So still, a good size lead, a good sizable lead, but it's double points here tonight. So, it can add up very, very quickly here. Certainly, I'm sure he's going to be wanting to get, love to get himself into the top 5. I think a top 5 would easily lock him into that championship spot. But, at minimum, I think he's got to try and get up there, maybe to 8th, maybe to 7th, depending on how the points and not the penalties, the bonus points and everything fall. I'm sure that's what he's got to be looking forward to. The win is most likely out the window without any kind of big issues or anything like that from Craig Jancic or a lot of the others in front of him right now. Looking at some of the other points, Paul Smith pretty much has it wrapped up with a 100 and roughly 150-point lead over Renan Dilemma in the AM class for the LMP2s. In the GT3s, it is Chris Hamilton leading Tyler Torville by just under 100 points, about 86 points coming into tonight. So another one that can be close, can get a little hairy if Chris were to have some issues, but not having any issues here tonight, leading in the GT3 class. In the AM class for the GT3s, it is somewhat close as well. It's actually maybe not as close as I thought. Actually, about 140-point lead for Christian Ortiz Torres over Cesar Colon Torres. So most of the fields, when it comes to the points, spread out at the top enough that the points leader can have a bit of a mistake and still make up for it as long as he doesn't have a horrible finish.
Torres out there.
Well, and that helps as well. When Christian Ortiz Torres is the only one out there. I thought I seen the 777. Actually, yeah, it looks like Ryan Merriam is in the 777 here tonight, but not in the car for Cesar Colon Torres, I'm sure. He's running his own race and running in 6th place overall right now in the GT3 class. But Greg Jancic, Bryce Reiner, Siviani Madrigal for your top 3 in the LMP2 Pro. Paul Smith, Jim Herrick, and Wayne Burrell for the LMP2 AMs. And then in the pros for GT3s, it's Chris Hamilton, Kyle Kobler, and Greg Conaway. For the AMs, it is Logan R. Branson, Cameron Burke, and Ian Southern for your top 3. But Jimmy, we are at official normal race distance here at 45 minutes, and this being the longer one here, we'll go ahead and maybe have 2 love to hear it's here tonight. But either way, we'll start with one right now. Give everyone out there in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it.
A little love to hear it.
Sights and sounds here from the CSRL season finale here at Road America as we watch some of these drivers out there trying to survive getting through the first hour, as we're just about at the halfway point here, just about 1 hour down in the books. We've still got 1 full hour yet to go. I want to thank all our sponsors out there for the season. Jimmy's got some of the different sponsors on the overlay, just because he had unfortunately cover for me again with the Sun having some baseball again. But thank the sponsors here for the series: Chandelure, Leather Company, Sim Gaming Hub, Martin PC, 40 Racewear, Digital Sim Sports, Ace Motorsports, and I believe I said Martin PC, but if I didn't, Martin PC as well, and the Sim Gaming Hub. As I want to thank all of them out there, as well as Chris Brill sponsoring the Hard Charger Sandbagger Award, and 40 Racewear for giving out the gloves for I think pretty much every one of these races here this season, a bar maybe one. So it's been a great season so far for car count. You're looking on the left hand side, those two LMP2s, that's first and second overall. That's Jancic and Reiner, not really leaving each other's side here all night. And I'm wondering, if it comes down to it, if Reiner will have a go at Jancic with the points possibly on the line here for Jancic. But we'll see how that plays out here at the end. But before we get into that, Jimmy, before we get to the second half of this race, I'm still not convinced on Canada Corner. I do like the lure of the Canadian beer and the Canadian cigarettes, but I'm finding out that another reason that comes down to it is more from the drivers, saying that the turn is located the furthest point on the circuit from the main paddock and from pit lane, that drivers and crews used to joke that if your car broke down there, the hike back to the pits was so long it felt like you had to walk all the way to Canada. That's another pretty good one here. So I'm gonna keep digging, see if I can find some more pearls out there on Canada Corner here tonight. But either way, they go into the Sargento cheese truck here on the middle stretch, heading down into turn number 5, tricky section of the track. But it's been a good one out here. 1 hour in the books, 1 hour to go.
Fox just making a move there on William Burrell there for Pete, number 12, as they work their way around Christopher Hamilton. So, this is kind of one of those, maybe we didn't touch on it here, kind of being self-aware of where you stand on the track. And obviously, Bryce Reiner and Craig Jancic, they're battling. So if I'm a car they're coming up on and I see 1 and 2 that close together, I'll look at my relative and I see that they're close, it's probably behoove you to kind of set yourself up to have them pass you in a not so difficult zone, because nobody wants, when two LMP2s are racing like this, they want to get by the car at the exact same time. Nobody wants to let that lap car get in the way and put more of a gap or create a gap between two cars that are battling, because it just, you see probably a lot more with some of the GT3s. So you got like Alex Sart back here, right behind Kyle Coburn, which was up there in P2. He was following the third, but these two are kind of battling, right? So it takes time for Sart to kind of catch up to Kyle. Sart catches up to Kobler, and then next thing you know, a line of LMP2s come through. A lot of this gap here that might be a half a second might turn into a second and a half. Might get them out of that draft. So it's like, it stinks, and it's really kind of hard. And so I said about letting some cars by quickly, it could mean you falling outside of a draft zone, when it comes to like being a slower car. So it's really kind of pay attention to your relative, who's coming. If I switch off the wing here, you can see from Zart, you can see an LMP2 coming, and you can see where they're at right now. Here's the cross. So you're lifting in the air, and they're going up the downhill underneath the sign here shortly. But you can see the LMP2 just getting around the Auberjois. Now they're in the technical section here to the little bit of S's. Getting ready to go down into the carousel, and you can see the LMP2 just kind of closing. So like in my head, as Alex starts getting around here, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get down here. He's probably going to catch me in the carousel. Passing in the kink is very dangerous at this track. So it's like, can I get to the kink before he does? And is the scenario. And this is kind of a situation as a driver. Maybe Zart's not looking in his mirror. I wouldn't be looking very much, but he's going to make it through the kink. So there's the kink. And here comes the LMP2. He's going to get a full run of speed. Now they're heading down the Canada corner. And he's, the LMP2 is getting closer and closer. And he's going to catch him here. So the GT3 should do fine coming up out of Canada corner and be able to get through these S's without slowing down the likes of the LMP2. And you can see him setting them up. Coming into that final turn, he's gonna get close, get through that corner, and then it's about the perfect as you can get here for, I think that was Savani. Yeah, Savani as he goes by here, as he makes it by. So nice easy pass there for Savani. Good timing, it was at a good spot, and gets around, Kyle Kobler there as well. So, a nice easy pass, and Kyle Kobler, Alex Art continue to have that half a second gap between them two there. Because of where they were passed by the LMP2 of Savani and Madrigal. It's just it's like I said, it's an art, it's a dance out there. And you can see looking back from Kyle Colbert, here comes another LMP2. So, and I think that's Rich. Yeah, Rich, we flip around cameras here on Rich's machine. We should be able to see the GT3's coming up. And see, now he's coming up in this kind of the same situation, but a little bit closer. So now going up in underneath the Corvette crossway there in this technical corner. This is a difficult area to kind of pass. The GT3's got good acceleration coming out of the corner, so nowhere to do it here. So now what's Rich do? Rich going to dive to the corner. He's got the speed, so he's going to get one. He's going to make it through. He's going to make it nice and tight there. We'll just flip the cameras around real box, and you can see now that that space between Zart and Kyle has gotten a little bit bigger, and Rich is going to go ahead and use the speed of the LMP2 and downforce to go around the outside during the carousel, and that probably slowed down, that Kyle just a little bit, and probably closed him back up again. But that delta there, is kind of stretched out from that half a second up to almost a second. Somebody goes off the track. Oh, and in front of Kyle Kober, as we're right on board, and that's Michael Borowski, I believe. So we'll go ahead and see. Michael Borowski was here.
No, I think that was either Craig Jansick or Bryce Reiner, I believe, because I'd seen the paint scheme on the other side of the car. So we need to find out who was involved in that one, because I believe that was one of our two leaders. And you see it right there. That's 27 having, or not the 27.
Snow Bourgeois.
Trying to see who that was. No, that wasn't.
That was right. That was right in front of Rich Petrucci, though.
Yeah, that's. We need to just check with our two front runners and see if any of them have damage. It could have been the 27 right there of
Yeah, Rich was running the same paint scheme, so they're all the same.
Okay. That's right. I seen the same paint scheme, and I seen a 7 as a second number. I'm like, oh, that's the 97 or the 87. Didn't realize the 27 also had the same paint scheme. But got a couple more pearls for Canada Corner, because I'm obsessed with it now. One of them was some of the drivers said that you go so fast down the backstretch that if you wreck, you'll damn near be in Canada. So that's a good one for sure. Another one back in a few years ago, when there was apparently the disputes on tariffs. For a brief moment, Road America considered renaming the corner "Make America Great Again" corner. So luckily, as far as I know, that didn't happen. It stayed Canada Corner. But yeah, it's a pretty fun thing. So when you start looking into the history, and it's like I said, it's. A lot of the corners make sense just on face value, and you can figure out why a corner is named what it is, because it looks like a corner from another track, or it looks like a dog leg, or like the kink here. It's a kink. It's like a little kink in the track, so that makes perfect sense. Just right there on face value. But it's when you have a corner like Canada Corner, like if it was Mosport corner or something like that. Okay, well, maybe it resembles a corner from Mosport, but the fact that it was Canada corner made me want to look it up, and now it's got me wondering if there's some other tracks out there, and maybe somebody out there in the viewing audience knows another track that has a corner name that they don't understand. It just doesn't make sense to them, and I will gladly Google it for everybody. I will be your Google concierge to let you know exactly why it is, or at least give you some good little pearls and some of the lore behind the name of it. But either way, we are well into the second half of this race. Craig Jancic still leads the way out front, but not by much. It's only 0.4 of a second between him and Bryce Reiner. Then another 17.5 back to Sivian Madrigal in third. Petrucco is having a good race out there, even though he got brushed up there a little bit. Having a good race back there in fourth place. Evan Young in fifth. That's for your overall, and then the LMP2 pros. In the AMs, Paul Smith still leads. He is in ninth place overall. Jim Herrick in second for the AMs, and Wayne Burrell in third. Down in the GT3 class, Chris Hamilton still leads the way by 14.5 seconds now over Kyle Kobler. Alex Zart in third, and Noah Bourgeois, Tyler Torville for your top five for the pros. In the AMs, it is Logan Branson, your leader by looks like about a minute and a half right now over Ian Southern. And trying to see, it looks like now they both pit on the same lap, so just a large lead for Branson over Ian Southern. And Cameron Burke, your top three in the GT3 AM class. Want to thank everyone out there in Sierra Nation for tuning in here tonight to the 2-hour season finale for CSRL. And if you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer, as we've got another race that's going to be coming up here in a bit. And you can go picture and watch both CSRL finish up their season and watch the race there for the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series, as our fellow team on CRN, John and Mike, will be over there covering that one for us here tonight. But we got something else coming up, Jimmy, and it's another fun event, and it's the one that comes up every 6 months. Later this month, in just a couple weeks, CRN Cup makes its return.
Yeah, CRN Cup, obviously, we like to throw on a little I guess a fun run there for each league to kind of participate, get out there and kind of pit each other, one against another, mano a mano, I got league versus league. We cover a lot of different stuff, we kind of cover the oval side, we cover road racing, now we're covering multi-class, so kind of just a fun night to kind of, like I said, throw your hair back and just have a little fun run on something maybe a little bit different for the drivers and for the fans out there to come out and watch, see how everything goes. But it usually ends up a good time and a good showing, not only by the drivers but by the fans. Most of this is for the fans. You can see the numbers kind of pop up and down here tonight, which is great because typically, we're below 20, but tonight over 20 viewers out there watching. And so if you got a favorite driver, you haven't seen him in a while, want to know where he's at, let us know in the chat. More like they're try to pay attention to the chat, but I'd like to see some spunk out there for the CSRL fans and see how things are going out there, or what you're looking for, or who's your favorite driver, and show your support here for who maybe you're rooting for. And if you haven't already, you can like and subscribe and continue to find out when we go live. Like I said, we have racing pretty much 5 days a week. Starting with Sunday to Thursday, and there's multiple nights with multiple races. CSRL being one of those nights here on Wednesday nights where we usually run with them for about 45 minutes or so, and then we head over to Pit Road Speed Limit Racing and run some next-gen cars on some ovals. And then on Thursday nights, we run with VVR and Core GT. So again, a night of multiple types of racing and multiple times here at CRN. So we appreciate everybody kind of swinging by, and the channel is for the viewers. I've kept the channel unpartnered, so no commercials at all, and that way it doesn't get in the way. Nobody wants to see a stinking commercial for hims or hers or whatever they got going on out there. So we just kind of keep it unpartnered and just kind of bring you the stuff here raw, and just kind of let you see what's going on here on iRacing. Just by a couple people that just like to watch it. So it's just we're just out here having fun and see who can become victorious each and every week, and who becomes the series champion, or who's got these great comebacks. Here tonight, obviously the one we're kind of watching and got a lot on the line, up to 12th right now overall, Carl. Dace Keeling. So
and third in line right now.
Yeah.
Is the important that he is 1 lap down, but he has got the 2 leaders in front of him. So we'll see if there's any kind of kerfuffle here as he tries to unlap himself right behind these leaders, or maybe just attach it onto the back in hopes that they can drag him up through the field and make some more passes before the end of this thing. Is they're pretty much on the same pit strategy. Looks like Keeling and Jancic pit on lap number 29, Reiner pit on lap number 28. So really no difference there. It's just a 1 lap difference, as looks like Ortiz Torres had some issues here. We'll take a look and see what happened. This is maybe a light little spin right there heading into Speedville. But yeah, getting back to the CRN Cup, it's obviously these drivers look forward to their league events every week, but I'm told by a lot of drivers that other than league events, the thing that they look forward to 100% is the CRN Cup, because like Jimmy said, it is an exhibition that all the leagues are invited to. So all 7 leagues that we cover here on CRN are invited to put teams together of drivers that raced in their previous seasons on CRN, and they can compete for a ton of different prizes, as we already have some prize money on the line. If you're you want to get involved, whether it's as just a random sponsor, if you want to get your business out there, anything like that, we are accepting sponsorship for the CRN Cup, as it will all go towards the drivers. Me, myself, Jimmy, maybe even 1 or 2 other broadcasters will be up at the booth covering the event, as it's going to be 2 races, as it always is. There's going to be an oval race and a road race, so that way the roadies have a chance and the ovalers have a chance to score some points, and winners of each of the events, as well as the team, the league that scores the most points will be getting prizes. But last season, or not last season, but 6 months ago when we had the last one, we had a little over $500 in prize money. So we paid out, I think, all the way down to the top 6 positions. We gave out random prizes, we gave out random positions, just all kinds of opportunities for these drivers to get out there and earn a little bit of scratch along the way. But realistically, just a good chance to get out there and have fun. And from what I remember, we had 50 plus drivers out there for the CRN Cup last time, and it got a little bit hairy, and some of the formats will change a little bit this time, especially for the oval side. But looking forward to it, as that's going to be coming up on Sunday, June 21st, later this month. But right now, these drivers are going to worry about the season finale here for CSRL, and we'll talk to Jim Dutton after the race as well, and see where what they're going to be looking at for the upcoming seasons here at CSRL, because as far as I know, it's already kind of in the works. But we'll let Jim talk about season 17 here, and it's a great number once you get into the teens. When it comes to your league, your series, whatever it is, has been around that long, that you're in the teens when it comes to seasons, it's been pretty damn successful, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, and I know I have limited kind of involvement, trying to help out a little bit here and there. Kind of got brought on board as I've stuck around probably on the longest here with Core, and obviously brought to broadcasting to Core. That's where CRN was born. It was for Core to bring reliability, consistency, and just something that the drivers could count on each and every week. It's kind of been my motto. Even when we get some people that kind of will help us out, or they'll cover our league for us, and the biggest thing I tell them from day one is you just have to be reliable. There has to be. We know life happens, things happen, but not like, all right, this week you're here, next week you're not. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna make it. Like, it has to be more committed. I can honestly say that out of all the races, the thousands of races that we've been here, there's only been probably on one hand where I have missed, or Carl has missed, and it's just what we kind of strive for each and every week, you know, is to make sure that the races are covered, and not just for us as CRN, but for the fans and for the leagues that they, you know, they're expecting and kind of want out there. And we've gone upgrades, and we've gotten some help from some of the viewers, and you know, it's, you know, to kind of assist, I guess you would say, because, you know, we never received anything huge as far as, you know, like top of the line machinery or anything like that, but donations were welcome when we were receiving them. And, you know, it helped us to kind of get things together. Now, if we can just get somebody in Carl's local area to
please
get some dang good internet out there that's reliable, that we can even pump his quality up even higher. He's got the machine to do it, and now it's a little lacking on the internet side, and it's nothing you can do when you live out in the sticks, you know. And I don't think you live out in the too much in the sticks, dude.
No, I'm not that far from, you know, from some major cities, so it's not like I'm out in the, you know, the middle of the woods or something like that. But unfortunately, the internet provider I have has kind of got a monopoly on the area, and you figure I've been in the telecom business as long as I have. You know, I should have some pull when it comes to Verizon or T-Mobile. You know, get them to get a, you know, Fios out here or something like that. No, nothing. Can't get anybody out here. So I literally think it's, you know, it's this, you know, a monopoly. I think I got to write to my local congressman to tell him, like, hey, you know, loosen it up here a little bit, because this internet is not great. But watching some battles here.
You're gonna get stuck in like even though you got the cable internet, I mean, it's you're gonna get stuck in the times where it's like almost dial-up. I mean, there's areas.
Don't you put it on me. Don't you put it on me.
There's areas around.
There's
areas around me, and I think even I can receive like 5 or 10 gigabytes up and down through the, you know, some of the providers right where I'm at, and I'm not near a major city. I actually Podunk town is not very far, you know, down the road, so you know, I'm kind of on the edge, but you know, obviously a lot of houses and areas kind of grew up here, and the neighborhood, we kind of got lucky. But yeah, I would not, it'd be hard if I sold my house. I would have to ensure that the house that I bought had good internet. Just too many things, you know, you don't typically have, not many people run cable anymore. Some people, they, you know, only run streaming services, and, you know, being somebody that works from home and does at-home schooling and, you know, obviously involved with the online activities after work, it's not something that I want lacking, just for sure. So they're definitely one of a deciding factor. I don't know if I'd be like, you know, bad internet or no garage, or great internet and no garage, or bad internet and, you know, 3-car garage. So yeah, I mean, you know, things like that, I'd be like, well, I don't know, I spend a lot of time in my garage. So but yeah, but there's things that are kind of like a no-brainer, I think, these days, and internet is, I think, a big thing. I know a lot of people use their phones for a lot of stuff, but iRacing, not so much. To be Wi-Fi, we've seen a lot of drivers have some issues, and kind of, you know, hinder them, or they get frustrated, or they get out there, get involved in an accident, but you can't see them. You end up usually hitting them. But we have pit stops happening yet again here. See Rich Petrucco in here. We're at 1 hour 20 minutes, Carl. That means we have 40 minutes racing. We still essentially have a full normal race here remaining with CSRL as we're getting ready to go there. We should be getting ready to go live over there with Pit Road Speed Limit Racing. So, like I said, if you want to see the action, don't be afraid to open up another window tab and to check them out over there and see how they're doing here tonight. I might try to, actually on my laptop over to the side, I might try to pull some up. Trent Blaylock's in here to the pits now. He was up there in 5th place. But Craig Jancic and Bryce Reiner continue to battle. And you just kind of, you know, Bryce has had such a great race, great season. Started off with pretty much a bang, and then was up there running consistently over and over again while Craig was having some issues. And then, not that Bryce kind of fell off, but Bryce just kind of did not have like the top finishes that Craig and Dace was having at the end of the season. So, but he's still in the battle. I think he's sitting P3 in the points at the moment. So just a great season overall for Bryce here this season. You know, P2, and I remember talking to him early, and he talked a little bit how, you know, this car just kind of fits his driving style, and, you know, it's there's been a lot of cars on iRacing, and this is one of the ones that I enjoy driving the most. I just don't enjoy driving it on cold tires. It's almost a little scary, and when you're timid with cold tires, it can be just as bad as you know, driving too fast on warm tires. It's just it's uncontrollable at times, and it's really kind of scary. And you don't want to. You need to drive the car, obviously, as both the leaders there go around. The leader of the GT3 series, Chris Hamilton, he just came out of the pits himself. So yeah, pit stops still happening. It does look like 11 of the LMP2s are still on the lead lap at the moment, all the way back to Dace.
He was killing it as he's
just got by.
Yeah, just unlapped himself, got himself back on the lead lap, and now he tries to continue his charge. He's currently running in 9th place now in the LMP2 Pro class, but 11th overall, so he's still looking to try and gain his way up through the field more. He's got 9 seconds up to Trent Blaylock. Certainly, you know, within the realm with the speed that he's running, he can catch back up to him, and still got one more pit stop for all the LMP2 pros as well, at least. I would think it's only one more pit stop from here for them. We'll see how it all plays out, but you know, doing a good job. He hasn't, you know, from what I've seen, hasn't made a mistake since the lap 1, but it's just he put himself into a big mountain to climb.
Bigger mountain than I'd want to climb. He was doing great, and then all of a sudden now he's got to climb Mount Everest. I mean, if you want to talk about the most extreme challenge you can give oneself, spit out on lap 1, have to tow, and have to try to come back to fight for your championship. I mean, that's just you know, he's
on a
been
4-mile track.
Yeah, on a 4-mile track. It's you know, it's on a, you know, at a 2-hour event too. On top of that off, I mean, at least he had the extra time here tonight. Still has 40 minutes. You know, I would not be surprised to see Dace Keeling, you know, venture up into, you know, obviously inside the top 10, even
Just ran the fastest lap in the race as well.
Yeah,
with a 154.78, as he's the only car that's been in the 54-second range. He's had a couple of laps now. This is his fastest, a 154.78. So he's cleared the leaders. Yeah, he's cleared the leaders, exactly. It's just getting low in the fuel. Already see Bryce Reiner into the pits to make what should be his final pit stop.
Nope.
Oh, you don't think? Okay, so
no, they're only running about 28 minutes or so on fuel. So you know, if Dace can kind of stretch this out and get it under the 30-minute mark, he might be within range. But I'm pretty sure, because they're just under 30 minutes for a tank here at 70%. So and they're not filling up to 100%. So 100% tanks typically with LMP2s, like they were saying, is about 45 minutes. And they're only going to 70% here. Like the GT3s are only going to 50%. So there was a little bit of fuel change at the beginning they were talking about, but they were talking about 50% of these cars was like 7 laps, and they would have been pitting like, you know, 6 or 7 times tonight. So they decided it was a last-minute call, but it wasn't. It's not. It's right around the same realm as a fixed setup as far as fuel goes. So I think a kind of good frame, because when you run some of the fixed series and they're 40 minutes, you end up pitting with the LMP2. So you know, it's something that even in officials, the LMP2s, because of how much they burn fuel. But Dace Keeling bringing it in here with at 1 hour and 27 minutes, Carl. It's going to be a tall ask to see if he can this would be his last pit stop. It would definitely give him a leg up, but, you know, needing that splash and dash to the end could be detrimental here to Dace, and it could be make or break maybe his season championship. I do see that Jim Dutton has parked the car for the evening, so maybe we can even get him in a little earlier, get a little heads up if he's tracking points here early on. You know, kind of see what his thoughts were on the race. He was having some good battles, and I think he just got caught in something a little bit later on, as we've seen him getting tangled up with some traffic. So, but definitely been a great race for a lot of drivers, and just trying to doing a fantastic evening here of racing. And most of the drivers are still out there. There's a few that are out there. Looks like Hamilton Button's out. I mean, there's Schwartz is out. Asano's out. Conaway's out. Potts is out. Zart's out. Little is out. Brolowski's out. John Spot. Wait a minute. He's still out there. Brolowski's still out there. Little, take that back. I think that one's Zart.
Yeah, Zart I think is the first one that's out. Yeah. And for a while we had I think only 4 drivers out of the race. I think we had 36 drivers out there for a while, but it looks like a few more of them just calling it quits for the night, and it's going to leave us still with 31 cars out there on the track, trying to get some laps in, trying to get it home here tonight, and it will still be quite a ways to get this thing done. As Jimmy mentioned, still about 30 minutes left in this race, and it's going to be interesting to see how these pit stops fall, because even looking at the GT3s, Chris Hamilton pit on lap number 39, Kobler and Bourgeois pit on lap number 41, and on the crossover they were ahead of Hamilton. So if Hamilton needs to make one more pit stop, even for a splash and dash, the win for the GT3 pros may not be over just yet if Kobler and or Bourgeois can make it to the end without making another pit stop. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Right now, we've got a new leader, Jimmy, and it's Bryce Reiner out front. As I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I think it was just a short pit in itself, because Jancic had a faster pit stop by about 1.3 seconds in the pit stall, but the overall pit lane time, Craig Jancic 1 minute 9.1. Bryce Reiner 1 minute 9.2. Sorry, not 1 minute. Actually, yeah, 1 minute. Sorry, for the total pit lane time. So a tenth of a second slower through the entire pit lane time for Reiner, but because of the short pit and getting out there with. Yeah, he had some, the tires were a little bit warmer, and he was able to get that lap in there and take over the lead of this race for I believe the first time here tonight. And he's trying to stretch it out as well. He was hanging behind Craig Jancic for the entire race here. Looked like he had some speed, but just kind of settling in. But now already out to a 3-second lead since he's gotten around the 97.
Yeah, maybe Craig holding him up just a little bit. Bryce maybe saving fuel. But Craig might be going into a fuel save mode. And it might be the reason that he's stretching this out here. Why Bryce is going to just run with it here. Because, it's not like Craig to fall back like this without reason. Typically, he'd battle right back and get out there. But maybe fuel on the mind of Craig Jancic, trying to not stop at all, and it's it's I guess can he not fall back far enough from Bryce? And this is a chance I think that Craig is doing here. If Bryce were to cross the line at a point where it would force Craig Jancic to be out of fuel, he could find himself having to need to pit anyways. So this is a chance I think that the 97 is taking here. I think this is a strategy call. I don't think this was on. This is obviously, I think, on purpose, as he's now back 4 seconds from Bryce. So this has to be. There's no way you go from leading nose to tail to falling back 4 seconds unless Craig Jancic has some serious damage on that car. And we'll just take a look, because I'm just kind of curious. Just in case maybe he did. Get into somebody or touch something. So
I don't see anything. And I can definitely see the fuel strategy game being played, but I could also see that Reiner had this speed in tow. I could see that Reiner maybe had some speed in the car, and he was just kind of hanging behind Craig this entire race. And even when they got into some issues with lap cars, he was able to reel them right back in. So I think Reiner has some good speed in the 87, but he's got one less lap of fuel in the car. So if it's a fuel strategy game and Craig Jancic's trying to save, Reiner would have to go into ultra save mode to try and get an extra 4 miles out of that tank. So I don't think Reiner has any kind of shot to get this thing to the end, unless somehow late in this run or something like that he decides to save some fuel. But trying to keep an eye on Dace Keeling as well. He's back there in 12th overall, 10th in the LMP2 Pro class, and I'm wondering if he's doing the same thing here. Maybe trying to save a little fuel to get this thing to the end, because he was close to Jack Oldenburg to try and take over 9th position. As you see him right there, not too far behind Jim Herrick in the 11th position. So he's I don't know. I don't know how the points are going to fall. I think he's still going to have to get a couple more positions to feel good about his finish here in the championship. It would be really close.
I'm having a hard enough time trying to calculate fuel, let alone points for championship in the drive. Like I said, Jim Dutton is obviously in the out there right now and not in the car, so maybe decided to do some math. Yes,
yeah, I already got hold of him. Yeah, we'll go ahead and bring the driver of the now parked 83 here tonight, Jim Dutton. And Jim, I'm guessing Road America just not treating you too well here tonight. We've certainly seen the spin cycle that you went on down the backstretch right there. As you got tagged from the side, you got smacked from behind. First of all, I guess the first question is, are you okay? Are you out of the medical tent?
I am. It's just my feelings that are hurt at this point. So,
well, that could take a while. That could take a few seasons to fix sometimes.
Yeah. No, maybe I was a bit too aggressive trying to get past the GT3 car, but I'm not sure. It happens.
Well, speaking of seasons, obviously this season here, season number 16, you guys decided to go multi-class racing. As the league owner, I gotta imagine the only word that would come to mind would be success.
Yeah, I would say so. Every race save 2, we had over 40 cars. I'm thrilled with everything that transpired. There's been a lot of arguments, a lot of people upset with how other people have driven, but that's to be expected. Just growing pains, right? But it's been great. I'm thrilled to be able to say that we've been able to put on the show that we have. And people keep on coming back, so it's good. Hopefully we bring that momentum into next season.
Yeah, I kind of even mentioned that when you guys talked about the multi-class, and I said there's going to be some feelings hurt at one point or another, and it's no uncommon occurrence as a league owner that sometimes you have to be an amateur firefighter. You have to put out some fires here and there, and just kind of calm everybody down. But the fact that you guys are still cranking out 40 plus week in and week out, and even here at the season finale, 40 drivers out here, it's definitely a testament to having the right product out here and something that the drivers enjoy doing. But this season is coming to a close here in just a few minutes, and it's going to wrap up season 16. I'm sure as soon as it's over here, you'll let us know who the official champions are in each of the classes. But before we get to that, do you have some announcements on season 17? Do you have an idea what you guys are going to be doing, if you're going to be doing multi-class again, when the season's going to start, and what kind of details, little tidbits can you give us for season 17?
So nothing terribly specific other than it's not going to change much. We will start on week 2 of the iRacing schedule and follow the iRacing IMSA fixed schedule for the season. I'm not sure whether we're going to do 10 weeks or 11 weeks again like we did this season. It all depends on what tracks they pick. We're going to change how we handle our race complaints and things like that a little bit, but nothing too major. We just want to make it more robust and have more eyes on than we currently do. Dan Murray has done a great job for us, of course, and thank him. He's we've offered remuneration to him, and he didn't accept it. So he's volunteering to do this, which is huge, and he's actually a really nice guy, a little rough around the edges, and probably don't get him on a microphone, but he's...
Well, they said that about Jimmy, too.
They let me on a microphone. You guys know how I can get. I'm just always out to have fun, but sometimes it just spins people up.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, listen, if you want your reviews to get shorter, Jimmy will gladly do it. You may have a lot of DQ drivers and a lot of drivers on suspensions and probations, but Jimmy will do it real quick for you.
sometimes that might happen. We're also like about halfway through the season, we closed off comms because it just became a bit
a little
toxic. Yeah. So we are opening them back up again next season, but we are increasing the penalties huge for it. So if somebody spouts off something toxic mid-race, they park their car. Type deal. We're not. Yeah, we're not 100% sure. Like all of the mechanics behind it yet, but those are just some of the things we're talking about. And of course, we welcome Core back as our official broadcaster for next season. We are in the earlier stages of getting sponsors for next season. Probably Mardon and 4D Racewear for sure. The Ace guys maybe, and maybe DSS if those avenues are still available. If not, then we'll look other ways. Also, Chris Burrell, of course. She's been quite the mainstay. So
one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, right.
Is making drivers feel like crap, for their bad
Absolutely.
So, before we get into it here, for anyone out there that is tuning in here and thinking about either joining the series or even getting in there as a sponsor, what's their best avenues to reaching out to you? So,
join our Discord. If you're on here, you can probably navigate to us through Core. Also, season 17 sign up will be live probably Friday. That's not finalized just yet, but it'll be up there soon. And then we have a couple weeks off, and we reset for next season. And as far as sponsorship, just get at me.
So we'll get to the car side of it. I know, unfortunately, you had to park the car early here tonight, but what have you learned specifically, this season from getting into the LMP2s? Certainly battling with a lot of tough competitors as usual, and even some new ones coming into the fray this season. So, what have you kind of taken away from this season driving the LMP2?
I am as wonderfully average an LMP2 driver as I am a GT3 driver. I also really quite like the way the LMP2 drives as compared to the GT3s currently. I think iRacing might have gotten it a bit wrong with the GT3 tire model. I find it really, really tricky to drive, but that's personal. It's really neat and doing multi-class with these two cars because they're faster in different parts of the track. Like coming off the line, I bet a GT3 car would beat an LMP2 car to the 60-foot mark, or 0 to 60, however you want to look at it. But mid-turn, the LMP2's got it. So depending on the track, it can be really tricky to pass. So.
Well, we definitely seen some of those tracks on the schedule here tonight, or not tonight, this season. This one here probably a little bit easier of a track just because you got a few straightaways where the LMP2s can kind of open it up a little bit and they can utilize that top speed a little bit as well. So looking at season 17, obviously you mentioned that's coming up here in maybe roughly about a month's time, but certainly get signed up as quickly as possible because I'm assuming you guys are going to have maybe not a cutoff, but you want to try and even out the series, the LMP2s and the GT3s as much again.
Yeah, so we can. I found out that we can actually steer that a little bit by putting the name of the class that we're short drivers first. Which is pretty funny, but yeah, we want it to be on par at least 60-40, if not better, if not close to the 50-50. But we'll cap it at probably 70 signups, and then that'll be it. And we will hit that cap for sure. We've listed people this season.
So right around the same time that you're going to be starting up season 17, we're going to be having our own special event that I know your drivers are big proponents of. I know yourself as well, a big fan of the CRN Cup coming back here, and I know you guys are looking to come back as a team and defend your title, as you guys were the team winners for the one 6 months ago. I'm assuming looking to gear up the drivers, get them ready, and put them back out there to battle here once again in just a few weeks.
absolutely. And we have some new drivers that hopefully will show up for us enthusiastically as well, that are quite quick. I understand that the rules are different. We can only bring seven guys along with us, and we had.
Actually, that's already been discussed, and that will actually be changed. It's going to be unlimited for both. There's going to be heat races for the oval, so it'll be a max of 30 in the feature. But every driver is going to be allowed to run in both sides of it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, that's cool.
So that way, at least it's only 30 cars on the track for the feature, because obviously we know what happened last season with 50 drivers. Even though it's Michigan, and me and Jimmy love us in Michigan, but it got a little rough around the edges with 50 cars out there.
Yeah, it did. There were some pretty angry people at the end of that too.
Firefighters.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. I'm very, very excited for that. So, like, would you run the road race first, then I would assume, and then do the heats and such.
Yeah, I think it's what we did last time. I'm still not sure the official format. It'll be most likely starting at about 8 o'clock on Sunday night on the 21st, and we'll have a half-hour road race with the GR86s, which will be interesting. We tried to last season. We tried to keep it kind of with what the leagues ran that season, but kind of looking back, it's like, well, we're almost kind of given an advantage. If we run say the GT3s, or we run the LMP2s, you guys and Core GT would have an advantage over some of the other leagues that are just running the ovals. Not that you would have an advantage anyway, but that's why we kind of switched it up a little bit this time. It will be the GR86s at Navarra, which is a free track, but maybe a track that some of these drivers don't touch that often, and doing the medium circuit there at Navarra should be a fun one, and a long enough track that you can get some passing done. And then with the street stocks at Phoenix should be a good one, especially with the Legacy. You won't have to worry about cutting the track there. I know Jimmy's not a big proponent of the dog leg at Phoenix, so this is the Legacy version. It's still got the grass, so you actually have to take the full circuit at Phoenix. But it'll most likely be 20 lap heats. The top 15 from each of the heats will make the 60-lap feature, so that way everyone's got a chance to run in both races, and compete for the win in both races, and also compete for the combined best driver overall for the night. So definitely a fun event, and that's what we want to really put it on as. It's a fun one. There's definitely plenty of prize money on the line already, and I'm sure there'll be more as it rolls along here. But I know you guys are definitely looking forward to defending the title.
Absolutely, we are. 100% we are. We're going to bring out as many people as you'll allow us, probably, and then hopefully we can get each of them to put in a little bit of money as well. So it'll be fun.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, we want to appreciate you joining us here in the booth, and obviously appreciate all the seasons that we've been on board, and already appreciate you for season 17 and give us the opportunity to bring your series out there to the public and put it out here on YouTube for everyone to see. And everything that you do here for us, it's not just here at the league, but there's a lot of back and forth that goes on, even behind the scenes that we discuss amongst our leagues, picking each other's brains and things like that. Is definitely a lot of mutual respect league owner to league owner. So I want to thank you for everything that we communicate all through the years here. But before we let you go here tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to that helps you on this season and behind the doors?
Well, first and foremost, you guys, of course, for putting on a great broadcast. Secondly, our sponsors, for sure. We couldn't do this without them. We couldn't have you guys on here without them. And thirdly, all the people that come out and race week in and week out and, have fun, laugh and cry with us, and show, have a great time. Yeah, right. But some great friendships have been forged here, for sure. So it's good to have.
Well, Jim,
thank you.
Jim, once again, we appreciate it, and definitely appreciate the opportunity. We'll let you get out of here, and I'm sure get to work on those points, because it's going to be end of the race here coming up pretty soon, and you have to let us know who your champions are here for season 16, and we'll get them in for their interviews. But thanks again for stopping in, and we'll be seeing you and talking to you soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Talk to you soon. Thanks.
That is the man behind the curtains here at CSRL, Jim Dutton, also the driver of the 83 Dallara LMP2. Unfortunately, I had to call it early night as he got, well, no other way to put it, he got smacked around a little bit going down the backstretch and tore that car to pieces. So it may take him until season 17 to get that thing fixed if he's still going to be running the Dallara next season. But we're getting down towards the end of it here as Dace Keeling has moved himself into 10th overall, 9th in the LMP2 Pros. Is it gonna be enough from where he is at? Bryce Reiner continues to lead. Does he have enough fuel to get to the end? He's got a 14-second lead right now, almost 14 and a half over Craig Jancic, and I'm assuming that Jancic is maybe doing a little bit of ladder. Maybe it is, Reiner slowing or being faster now that he wasn't slowed up by Craig Jancic, but I think it's also a little bit of Jancic kind of slowing up the pace, maybe trying to reach his thing out to the end. But maybe Reiner trying to do the same thing. Is their lap times were very similar these last couple times by, and I don't know how this thing is going to finish out, because we're coming down to the end of it. Less than 15 minutes left in this race, and really getting close to 10 minutes left in this race as the sun's starting to set on the season, Jimmy.
Yeah, sun's starting to set. Dace Keeling is looking for the side of the mountain, trying to find an extra gear, and hopefully has enough fuel to make it the rest of the way to give him his best chance. Splash and dash from Dace only hinder any progress that he has at the moment, and kind of got taken out early, Carl. So he doesn't have much of an advantage per se over some of these drivers that have been out there without the tow and the extra time in the pits and stuff, and because he's had to drive super hard, he's had to make up so much time, and he needs every single position, and I'm sure he's hoping that a few more drivers not too far in front of him, maybe up into that top 7 or so, to really kind of push it to the point where he's good to go. I do not know. I think he's a chance that he might have fell out of the points, but being running in back up in the top 10 is definitely giving Dace the opportunity to at least try to win the championship here tonight. It was his to lose for the most part. He started up there in the front, and it was not a good look. Obviously, spinning on turn number 2 of a very long evening. So I'm sure once we get him up here, if he is the champ, it's just it's gonna be the big question: what happened? And how was it for the comeback? Is the look a championship run be eliminated by the last and final race, and that by lap number 2, and then all night kind of stewing over it, trying to not think about that, run your race, hit your marks, be super fast, trying to collect every point he can. Fastest lap of the race, I believe, still, and it's just all kinds of things out there that he needs to try to take advantage of, and it's just is it enough? Was it enough, or was that bobble in the beginning, the twisted fate of iRacing to driver saying nope, not this season, and bring back Dace next season with a drive of bigger than anybody's out there, trying to prove that he's not one to make mistakes, or he's done making mistakes, and win a championship. So we're not going to say he's won, we can't say he's lost, but it's definitely going to be close, and it's made it super interesting over the last few hours to see that number 6 back here, and right now currently 9th overall, is trying to make his way back towards the front for that fighting chance, and we just don't know exactly how far he needs to come up. Right now, was it 8 positions separate himself and Craig Jancic, as Craig Jancic has slowed it down just a little bit. I've heard him lift in super early. This is the middle stretch right now, and he's off right now, and we're talking like the 5 line instead of the 3 line. That's how much he's lifting, and when I say lifting, doesn't mean he's not carrying more speed down into the corner, just a lot more off throttle. So when I was talking to Carl earlier about I like to kind of let off the gas earlier and carry more speed down into the corners, and use a little more trail braking vice, driving the car super deep, and then having to slam on the brakes, trying to save tires and fuel at the same time. And that's the way I kind of like to drive the LMP2. I'm not one to, and that's where I kind of lose a lot of time to some drivers, is they will come in the corner super hot, and they know how to work them brakes a lot better than I do. And they don't have anti-lock brakes or anything. They just lock. And when they lock, you slide. But yeah, obviously Craig is on a pace right now to hopefully get this thing to an end. He decided early here in this last stint to kind of back off and let Bryce kind of run away with it and see if that difference...
Bryce is in the pits.
And there you go. Bryce is in the pits. So, and Craig Jansek's coming up the hill now. So, and making it by Bryce now, as I think he was able to cross the start finish line. But Bryce in here quickly, get a little dash of fuel. No tires here for the number 87. Got enough fuel, and now down and away. Devin Young still back in the back part of the track here, and down through the Canadian corner. That has many stories that Carl's been throwing out there of things that it is. So if you know the true answer to why it's labeled the Canadian corner, let us know in the chat.
Beer cigarettes. Let's be honest. It's beer cigarettes. That's what it is. That's what we're sticking with. Damn it. That is what it is. Well, I can tell you right now that everyone in the top 10 has come in and made their final pit stops, except for Craig Jansek and for Dace Keeling. Now, Dace Keeling came in a lap earlier, just like Bryce Reiner did. So, he would have to save even more fuel than Craig Jansek is, and he's not saving. He just ran the fastest lap of the race again, 154.73. So, lowering his time even more. So he has got the bit between his teeth. He's trying to dig as much as possible and put enough of a gap between himself and Glenn Lazan to maybe be able to come in, take a splash and dash, and still get out there and maybe hang on to 8th position here. And that's what I mentioned. I said maybe 7th or 8th is where he's got to finish to make sure, because he is now in pit lane looking to make that splash and dash to get to the end. Jansek has got a 12.5-second lead over Bryce Reiner after the pit stop. And I think either way, Jimmy, the championship for the LMP2 Pros is going to go to a big comeback driver. It's either going to go to the comeback driver here tonight, with Dace Keeling having to make the comeback after having the early incidents, or it's going to go to the comeback driver of the season, which would be Craig Jansek, because he started off in a hole. He was behind Bryce Reiner. He was behind Dace Keeling pretty much this entire season. I don't think he's ever touched the top of the points, and he could be looking at making the ultimate comeback. Because looking back through the season, Reiner started off with a win at Sebring. Dace Keeling joined the season and won race number 2 at Hockenheim. Reiner,
GT3s too.
yes, as Hamilton had to come back in.
Yep. Kyle had to come. Oh, get a little wide there. Oh, that's kind of hurt Chris' lead that he has. It's not a huge lead over Chris, but enough. It's like 13 seconds. So obviously a long night for Chris, leading, and finds himself behind Kyle Kobler.
Well, if you're looking at the times, though, Kobler's kind of the same spot as Jansek, trying to milk this thing to the end and get every last drop out of that gas tank, because Hamilton is closing the time down pretty quickly here. He was about almost 2 seconds faster that last lap. But now Kobler in to pit lane. He's not going to be able to make it to the end, so it's going to give it back to Hamilton now. Can Kobler get back out and finish in second overall in the GT3s? Because Ryan Merriam is trying to track them down and maybe try and steal away second place here in the rookie class, but second place overall in the GT3s. It's been a good one here tonight. It's been a good season, and it's about to wrap up here very, very quickly. Should be seeing the white flag coming out in the next couple spins, and I think for Craig Jansek, it can't come out soon enough, as we will hop on board here with Jansek and see if he... I don't think it is either. It's 157 right now. He's
about 40 seconds too fast, Carl.
Yep. So we'll keep an eye out for Barney up and over the crest this time by. Will this hurt Jansek in the fact that that white flag is not waving just yet. 2 laps to go here in the season, and the finale, and the double points finale is the big thing here. And will it be enough double points for Jancic to reclaim the lead here and kind of win the last race and win the championship all in the same go-round, as it took a little bit this season for him to finally crack through and start getting some wins, as Jancic didn't crack through and get his first win until about halfway through the season, and that was at Imola. And then kind of same thing, it was a run for Keeling, winning 3 races in a row at Laguna Seca, Spa, and Road Atlanta before Jancic started fighting back, winning at the Nürburgring and then winning at Belle Isle. So looking to go back to back to back to finish out the season and finish out this comeback story. But we got some drama when it comes to the fuel. Can Jancic get it home? Reiner now answers back with the fastest lap of the race, a 154.73, same lap time as Dace Keeling, but it must have been a 100th of a second faster, or a thousandth, I guess, of a second faster, because it's registering as the fastest lap of the race for Reiner. He's 8 seconds behind Jancic. It's going to be, I think, a little bit too much of an ask. He was about 3 seconds faster the last time by. Maybe. If he gets 3 seconds this lap, 3 seconds the final lap, if Craig's going to go in ultra save mode, we'll see. But I would assume this time by, we should see the white flag here on the season, as we keep an eye here on Craig Jancic going through the final corner of the track. And he is now going to be heading up the hill and looking for Barney to finally wave that white flag here tonight. There it is, white flag in the air. 1 more lap to go on the season. 4 miles left for Jancic. Can it turn into a win here tonight and get him that chance at a championship as well, as the big thing? Because I think if he runs out here, it could be the end of the championship run here as well, unfortunately. So be very interesting to see how this thing plays out. But that's it, just 4 miles left, and now down to about 3.
Yeah, it's not going to take long. I mean, they get around here in less than 2 minutes, and even with Craig lifting and trying to save fuel, the gears, he's all off throttle down through here. You got to be careful. It's when you're off throttle, the car handles different. When you're just coasting, nice if you're on the throttle in a lot of these areas. And it is a technique, it is a talent to get around here fast and save, or at least save in areas that aren't. They're easy. It's easy to save, but it's sometimes hard to control your car. But Craig is just a few more corners. Got to work his way down the carousel here, down to the kink, and down to Canada corner, and make his way up the hill, Carl, which can be a big challenge to some cars, because typically the track's flat or whatnot, and that's not the place you'll want to lose fuel.
Well, just to let everyone know as well, as you can see, Dace Keeling was able to get out in front of Glenn Lazan. So looking at an 8th place finish here for Keeling, as Jancic looks to have enough speed at least to get through the final few corners here. Now coming up on the final corner, he needs enough speed out of here to even be able to coast if he needs to, because it's an uphill run to the start-finish line. And looks like he's got enough to weave back and forth here. Craig Jancic goes back to back to back, 3 wins in a row to finish out the season, as he wins it here, the 2-hour season finale at Road America. Coming home in second, about 6 seconds behind him. Coming up the hill is Bryce Reiner. He's going to come home in second. Devin Young still about 33 seconds till we get back to Devin Young, as he's got some lap traffic to deal with here on the last lap. Going to go around Cesar Colon Torres here. No, he's going to stick in behind him. He knows it's the last lap. Yeah. No reason to force anything here late, as he'll just stay in behind. But he is going to be your 3rd place finisher here tonight, and a good run here for Devin Young. the highest finishing Canadian made it through Canada Corner the fastest here tonight. But looking at the GT3 Pro leader right now, Chris Hamilton leads it by 22 seconds. A great run for what is undoubtedly going to be the champion here in the Pro class. The 64 of Chris Hamilton as I came in as the points leader, and it's easy to know who the champion's going to be when the points leader just goes out there and wins it, like Hamilton is looking to do here. Just a few more corners to go, including right here, Canada Corner. Take a look out for the Molsons and the I don't even know what Canadian cigarettes are, but I do know Molsons. I'm a big fan of some of the Molson beers, so I will give them the Canadian beers for sure. But now through the final corner, and the Mercedes will reign high again here as he's going to do a little weave and a little flash in here as well as the lights start to fade here as the sun going down. But Chris Hamilton is going to flash them lights over the line with the win here tonight. Kyle Kobler put up a good fight, tried to stretch this thing out on fuel, just couldn't do it, unfortunately, and he's gonna have to settle for a second place, but a good second place here for the Bandit coming home here in the Trans Am Ferrari. I don't know what else you want to call it here, but
it looks good.
It's exactly it does for sure. And it looks good enough for second place here tonight. Norm Bourgeois coming home in third in the GT3 Pros. In the GT3 AMs, Logan Branson he is done, as he is your winner here tonight in the GT3 AMs. Christian Ortiz Torres, Ian Southern for your top three. The only one we didn't talk about is Paul Smith, who had a fantastic run here again, and the same thing. Paul Smith was the points leader coming in, and he won his class here tonight, beating Jim Herrick and William Burrell, as that was your top three in the AM class. Once again, I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in here tonight. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and get you in touch with everything that Sierra has to offer. I want to thank our sponsors, 40 Racewear, Digital Sim Sports, Martin PC. This race tonight brought to you by Chandelure Leather, Sim Gaming Hub, Ace Motorsports, and of course Chris Burrell for the Hard Charger Sandbagger Award, as always. And that tonight is going to go to Ryan Merriam, up 19 spots here, finishing 18th overall after starting 37th. So good charge to the field for the 777 as to finish the top rookie in the GT3 class. But Jimmy, heck of a finale here for the 2 hours.
Yeah, it's a long one, you know. Obviously, it's not something we do each and every week to sit here for 2 hours of racing. You know, sometimes we'll be here pre-race or after the race, and talking here with Carl. But you know, it's they're out here for 2 hours plus the 50 minutes that they practiced, plus the 10 minutes that they had for qualifying. So it's technically 3 hours here tonight. That is a nice stint, I guess, of racing for any individual to kind of sit down on their rig, and hopefully you got a comfortable seat. I do not, so when we start getting some long periods of time here, it gets a little uncomfortable. You know, our broadcasting, at least I can get up. When I'm driving, you just got to deal with it. So one of these days, maybe they'll have a comfortable seat that's you know, not $1,000 for a sim rig. But it's definitely a long one here, and yeah, I think some of the obviously the early incidents. I thought it was I think the hype of the last race, the points challenge to there, and then you know, and I think maybe some of the incidents, not so many after like the first quarter of the race. They're pretty much just kind of little whoopses here and there, and a few getting entangled in some of the you know, lap traffic or slower traffic or higher or faster traffic, whatever. But you know, all those things kind of come into play. But a lot of the incidents were early on, and the biggest one that was kind of sticks out is your you know, coming into here was Dace Keeling, finishing in 8th. You know, 8 spots back from Craig Jancic. Was it enough? Was it enough of a gap for Craig to win, or was it enough of a comeback for Dace tonight to maintain his points lead and be the champion? We're about to find out here eventually, and that's why we're kind of wasting a little bit of time here as we go through. And you know, you've seen the drivers here tonight, but congratulations to everybody that's finished this thing, and even the ones that came out and did the whole season. There's so many drivers in CSRL. And like Jim was saying, you know, 40 plus drivers for 90% of the races is outstanding. You know, they start off with a bang with almost 50. You know, that was I think their max at the time. I think they're opening up just a little bit. I think they do enjoy the larger fields. And, you know, we've talked about how, you know, slower drivers and faster drivers need to work with each other along with racing with their competitors to kind of marry things up. And, you know, you got a kind of an inside of, you know, kind of, you know, how drivers kind of act. Drivers get heated. You've watched, I'm sure you've seen on TV and NASCAR, and drivers getting in arguments or throwing helmets. And, you know, I've seen it myself at Five Flags International Raceway.
You mean the good old days? You mean the good old days?
No, we're just talking just last year. I was down to Five Flags, and there was a big old debacle. And
short track racing is still short track racing.
You know, it wasn't, you know, it was an outside driver, and it showed up. The incident happened with one of the locals, and obviously the local knows, you know, 3/4 of the drivers on the track. Yeah, it was, they had the cops down there and everything. It was kind of interesting drama on the infield of Five Flags Raceway. But you know, the drama does happen here on iRacing, and a lot of it's just verbally because it's over the internet. So you just got to be careful, and shutting off comms, you know, is one way to get rid of that. But overall, very fantastic season. And I mean, the drivers had to like something of it. They were out here for almost all of them. So congratulations to every driver that participated and where you finished for the season. Definitely look forward to seeing everybody come back and do it all over again.
Yeah, we'll get through the finishing order that we know. Certainly, 3 of the championships. I already know who the winner is, and we're just waiting on one of them. But we'll go ahead and start with the GT3s here tonight. Your GT3 winner here tonight, as he finished in 15th overall and came out as points leader. Won the GT3 Pros here tonight. So. Pretty official, I guess still technically unofficial, but pretty official that Chris Hamilton, your winner here for the season, for the night in the 64. Chris, congrats on winning and surviving the 2 hours here tonight. I should say teammate Chris, as I'll get a chance to run with you this coming weekend. So hopefully, you know, use it all here tonight. Hopefully you saved a little bit for us, but either way, heck of a run here for you tonight.
It's been a rough couple of weeks, if I'm completely honest. So I'm so happy right now.
So talk to me about you know, being back in your, I guess, your comfort zone and the Mercedes here for the finale, and it seemed to work out pretty well, and you had yourself a sizable lead. Were you worried at all with the pit strategy at the end? It looked like Kobler maybe thought about trying to stretch this thing out and make it to the end, but at the end he ended up having a pit.
I thought about it, and then once the math didn't math, I was like, well, I suck at saving fuel anyway, so let's put the hammer down.
Really? Really?
So,
he doesn't have a crew chief to yell at.
Yeah, so once I realized that there was no way I was saving 4 gallons of gas, I was like, well, I could either save fuel and have the gap be 3 seconds, or absolutely send it and extend that gap, and I chose the latter.
Well, listen, talk to me about the season itself. Obviously, you come away with the season championship here in the GT3 Pro class, multi-class racing here. So some of the big names going up there to LMP2 class, but you still had some big names down there in the GT3 class as well. And you were able to get the best of all of them and get the championship here this season.
I think it was a numbers game. What I do best is consistency. I think I'm one of the more consistent drivers out there, but I don't have some of the raw pace as like Noah would have. He usually had me on raw pace. This time I was a little closer than him and edged him out in qualifying. So once I saw that Kyle had decent pace, same with Noah, I was like, okay, I can actually keep up with these guys this time. So let's just do what I do best.
Well, it's certainly a good feeling to be able to best the quote unquote best competitors in the season finale to get that championship as well. It makes you feel good for sure, leaving the season on a high note, and hopefully, you know, heading into the weekend with a high note as well. But before we let you go and get out of here tonight, who do you want to thank on that number 64?
Huge shout out to Ryan McCauley. He painted this lovely Genshin Impact Merc that I've been running for quite a while now. I feel like people know me when they see the Merc, they see the light blue anime girl waifu scheme. It's fun. A huge shout out to Noah. He was kind of that mid-season slump I think he helped me push through getting through this. We've been talking a lot offline, doing a lot of Richard Burns Rally together. But he was honestly one of the more pushing driving factors into just, hey, put the helmet on, go racing, and you know what to do. And thank you guys for the broadcast. I got to go practice Le Mans now.
So he was the one I was pretty much saying stop being a female dog. Gotcha. Now we know what it takes to get you motivated a little bit. Well, either way, we'll be joining you here in just a little bit and getting some practice in. But either way, celebrate this championship. We'll see you next season. See if you can do a little defending.
We'll see about that. I'm not entirely sure. I think I need a little bit of a break. It's been quite
understandably.
It's been quite a bit of 10 weeks here. I should be graduating college here in like 2 weeks, so that'll be fun.
It's about time, and congratulations for that as well. Well, we'll let you go celebrate. We'll talk to you here in a little bit offline.
Oh yeah, don't put your helmets away, boys. We still got a race to do this weekend.
We got to get ours out.
It's out,
please.
It's out.
It's out.
Taking a couple tear-offs off mine.
Beautiful.
That is your winner here tonight in the GT3 Pros, and your winner for the season championship in the GT3 Pros, the 64 of Chris Hamilton. As we'll keep it with the GT3s here, and trying to see as I lost it here is there we go. Winner here tonight in the GT3 AM class for the night is going to be Logan Branson and the number 43.
Logan, it's Jimmy Carlton, a booty copy.
Yeah, I hear you. What's up?
Well, I go from watching you on Twitch to now you're racing in my races. I love it. It's a small world. It's
Right.
I was like, hey, I know that name somewhere, and sure as nothing, there you are off on the racetrack. So, great race to you for you tonight. I know you've had your troubles in some of the races in the past. We've seen you, struggle a little bit here and there, but tonight seemed to click for you here a little bit, and you grabbed that top spot here in the GT3 AM class. So, congratulations, man. I know it's one heck of a run, and definitely challenging running around multi-class. Give us a little rundown of your race, man. It was a long one out here, 2 hours.
Well, I do a lot of endurance racing, so this is nothing for me. 2 hours is nothing. I just got a lot of luck going for me. When Christian took wet tires, and then Cameron Burke went to the pits and just did a drive-through. It's like, holy crap, I might actually win this thing.
The sun shines on the dog's rear end every now and then.
Right.
No, but
that was great.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, they just constantly kind of flash on the see what you're doing, and I've seen a few incidents. Obviously, what was the most challenging part of tonight here being at Road America with the LMP2s?
It's Road America. It's not my best track. So, like, tonight, just something clicked. I don't know what the hell it was, but the track itself was my hard part.
Yeah, sometimes it can be tricky, as easy as it can seem to be at times. But yeah, when you finally get the click, it does feel good. And you put that number 43 out to the front, man, here for the AMs, and did it in a pretty good job. You ended up gaining 10 positions overall tonight, finishing 22nd overall and first for the AM. So congratulations, man. Couldn't ask for a better run for a finale here at CSRL for the season. Obviously, the season will fire back up in just a few weeks. Again, right. Are you planning on coming back with the CSRL again?
We'll see what it is. I'm a stay-at-home dad, so it's summertime, so my schedule is pretty damn packed right now. So we'll see what happens.
We all know how that feels. I mean, I'm a I guess I work from home. Does that count as a stay-at-home dad?
Yes. You got kids in the house.
Interesting. But again, man, congratulations. We'll give you some time for any shout-outs there you got in at number 43.
First, Black Saturn, my guys, Stig, Caesar, Brandon, Jack, John, you guys are awesome. You're my buddies. I will see you guys later.
I appreciate the shout outs, man. Again, congratulations, and go celebrate this one with your friends and family.
Word. Thank you, bud.
Yes, sir.
That is your GT3 M class winner here tonight. The 43 of Logan Branson, the championship winner. Christian Ortiz Torres finished second here in the M class tonight, but it doesn't look like we're going to have him, at least for now, for an interview. We'll see if he pops in at some point, and we'll get a chance to talk to the AM class champion here for the season. But we'll keep it with the GT3s and just kind of switch it up here a little bit while we're waiting for the other champions to be announced. And we'll bring in our Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner here tonight. It's going to be the 777 of Ryan Merriam, finishing up 19 spots here tonight. Ryan, you made it through literally half the field here tonight. So talk to me about the lack of qualifying effort, or maybe the rough qualifying effort, what it was that set you back so far here tonight and made it maybe a little bit more of a struggle.
Yeah, hey guys. Yeah, just got a couple off tracks on first lap or two, I think, and then the third lap I just spun out, and when I ripped my car back around, it gave me a black flag for some reason, so I had to reset the car and then just didn't have any time to do another lap, so I just started in the back.
Well, it was certainly, at least, I guess, I don't want to say it's ever a good time to start from the back, but a 2-hour season finale here, probably the best time if you had to start from the back and give you plenty of time to do so. And it seemed like you had a pretty decent speed in the 777 here tonight, Aston Martin. But how was it actually getting through and navigating traffic here tonight?
It was overall pretty good. You know, in a race like this, there's always different skill levels, different car speeds. There's a few sketchy moments and a few, things I disagreed with, but overall, no big complaints, and got through mostly clean. And but yeah, I mean, it's a shame how the race ended for me. It just, other than that, though, it was fun.
Well, either way, congrats on working your way through up most of the field here and finishing technically fourth overall in the GT3 class after starting at the back is definitely a good finish. So congrats on the run here tonight. Before we let you go, who do you want to give a shout out to in that 777?
Did I get fourth? I don't know how I got fourth, because I actually towed at the end because I ran out of gas.
well, that's what I'm showing on my side. It could be wrong. That's what I'm showing on my side.
Let's see. Even if I
I'll
go
take
to
fourth, but
yeah, I think even results.
I never crossed the line, so I don't know how it would give me fourth.
Well, sometimes I think the toe actually kind of like pulls you across the line in some way. But either way, we'll credit you. Whether it's true or not, maybe we're wrong, but we'll credit you with the hard charge award here tonight.
Hey, I'll take it. Yeah, just thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast again. I'm sure it was a good one, and I'll check it out when I can, and looking forward to hopefully making some races next season.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats again. I'm sure we'll see you up there in the pro class for next season, competing with them. But take some time to celebrate the season that you had, and we'll see you in season 17.
All right, guys. Take it easy. Thanks a lot.
That is driver of the 777, I guess the unofficial hard charger award winner here tonight via Chris Burrell. We will, let's see, now we'll switch it over and we'll keep it, I guess, keep it close to the vest yet because we're still not sure. We'll go over to the LMP2 AM class, and it's going to be the AM class champion and winner here tonight, the 8 of Paul Smith.
Hey, Paul, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth to Cappy.
Hey, can you guys hear me this time?
Yeah, we can hear you this time. So, first, we got to say congratulations on the win here tonight for the LMP2 AM class. And then I guess the bigger horse in the room is congratulations on your LMP2 AM championship. As you came in here as the points leader and you won, so there's no way for anybody to gain any points on you. So I would have to safely say that you're probably going to be deemed the champion officially with inside the league here shortly. But great run here tonight. Definitely showed signs of some great speed out there, and you started 9th and finished 9th. So I guess overall, just a really good, solid run here for the number 8. So give us a little rundown on how your season was and how the race was, and anything that else that you got for us here.
Well, that was my game plan. The whole race was just slow and steady and just don't get an incident. I got in one scary one, but somehow I didn't hit the wall and kept going. Didn't even lose a spot. Thank goodness. But for the season, I started off super rocky because the first time I'd ever driven the LMP2 was an hour before the season started. So
Wow.
I definitely picked up steam as the season went on, which is nice. And now I kind of feel a little confident in it. But other than that, I didn't even know, until about like 3 races ago, I didn't even think I was even going to be in the conversation. And then made me lock in a little more, seeing my name on the points leaderboard. So, I am very thankful for this league, and I've become such a better sim racer just participating. And all the guys are great, and we get good banter going back and forth, and it's just fun to drive this.
Yeah, it's always fun when you can find a group of guys that got something in common, and you guys get along. And I'm sure that you've had your fair shares, or have heard of fair shares of debacles on the track. Now, you said that you're a new LMP2 driver for the first time this season. What's the most? And I'm going to ask this for anybody interested in the LMP2 and getting into something like this, and maybe trying to run for your champion themselves. What is the most difficult part about driving the LMP2?
Definitely the no TC and no ABS, like just getting used to that, but also learning, like the biggest thing on it is braking and carrying your speed and gaining the confidence because half of the turns you think you're going to blow right through it, but for some reason you put just enough brake on it and you grip up really nice. So that's what took me a while, is just gaining that confidence into turns. Because for a while there, I was super slow because I was over braking, just being extra cautious trying to make the turn. But other than that, it's super fun car to drive. I actually prefer it over the GT3s, if I'm being honest. But I hated it at first. So it's definitely something that you learn to love.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I've been driving them for a few years myself, and I agree with you. I think the biggest my challenge, I guess, is obviously the cold tire laps, and with the as much as you want to trust that one that's like warm, and it's so sketchy for that first lap or so before it kind of gets hooked up, and then it kind of showed here tonight. Did you get how did you work your way through that first lap debacle there, coming out of turn number 2?
Well, the sketchiest, I just squeaked through. I got so lucky. I almost T-boned Anthony Hutchinson, and I had just enough of a gap to squeeze through. So I definitely got super lucky. I was also in the same call as Dace, so I had that in my ear too, because he was not happy with what was going on. So I was trying to listen through the chaos and not kill myself. But I finally made it through. The sketchiest lap of the whole race for me was the whole time we were just used to starting, because we changed fuel right before the race started. Mm-hmm. But we were so used to starting at 50% fuel with a cold lap tire. And I got used to that. But it's way sketchier when you have more fuel in than tires are cold. So the first pit stop out lap was super sketchy to me, and I almost lost it like 4 times.
Well, you managed to get it done here tonight, like we said, and you walk away not only the winner for the LMP2 AM, but the champion as well. So great feats here for somebody who just picked up the car. You definitely got some speed. I would imagine eventually you poking your nose up there with the likes of, especially being on Dace's team, picking up some good habits and picking up a lot of speed and running up there in the top 5, top 3, and collecting some podiums, overall. So look forward to hopefully seeing you back out there next season. But for this one here, we're going to give you some time for any shouts you might have there on a number 8.
Yeah, so first shout out you guys. It's been great. This is my first league ever, so kind of just getting to know the whole process and having you guys put on these awesome broadcasts and all of that has been super fun. Thanks to Jim for putting it all together, all the admins and all of that for the league. I do want to say thanks to Dace, because he's the one that invited me to the league at the last second, and he's also put in a decent amount of time helping me kind of learn the car, because he knew I didn't know what I was doing. So thanks to him a lot, because I don't think I would have survived the season. And then, just want to thank my family, my girlfriend, and we will definitely see you next season.
We look forward to it. Again, I appreciate the shout outs. Again, congratulations. And we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is your winner here tonight and for the season championship in the LMP2 AM class. Finishing ninth tonight, the 8 of Paul Smith. Last but not least, and it's now official as well, as Craig Jancic is your winner here for the season, coming home in the top spot here as well tonight. And he didn't do it fast, as it looked like you kind of shut that thing down for a while, and I don't know, you're out there Flintstoning that thing to make sure you made that thing on fuel. But either way, it got you the win here tonight, and I mean, never a doubt you had the championship in the bag all season. I mean, never worried about it at all.
God, I can't honestly believe it, guys. I really can't. What did I say 3 weeks ago? I said, hey, maybe anything can happen. And then last week, it was, oh, well, as long as I get there with a chance. And then next week goes by, I get there with a chance. And when I saw coming out of turn 2 there, when I saw the back end of that number 6 car break just the tiniest bit loose, my first thought was, don't hit it.
Yep.
My second thought was, you're gonna hit it, because like his wheels stopped for a little bit and then they rolled forward towards the track, and I was like, we're beaching this thing. And I don't know how much I missed him by. I didn't even go back and watch it because we've had so much suspense here. And I don't know how much it was by. It didn't feel like much, and then I almost wrecked it just trying to get it off the grass. This was I could write a novel, a Harry Potter length novel on the things that happened just in this race, and we'll still never even get through it. So yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit of elation. It's a little bit of speechlessness. And I really can't believe it, guys. This one, it was a seasons long consistency story that just ended up panning out right at the right time.
Well, it seemed like it took you about half a season to kind of get a feel for the LMP2. It just seemed like you didn't really have speed until we finally seen you crack through at Imola to get your first win. And then, again, it took a little bit with Dave Keeling going back to back until you decided to do the same thing on the final 3 races and winning the final 3. And most importantly, the double points finale here tonight. And maybe with the double points is kind of what you needed to get this thing done, along with, obviously, the issues there for Dace on the opening lap. But I mean, just talk to us about the roller coaster season. It's not something we typically see from you. Normally we see you get the points lead, hold it for a while, but hell, it wasn't even Dace at the beginning. It was your teammate Bryce Reiner that was holding you down.
For sure it was. And honestly, not just for who he is as a person, but an extra special shout out here tonight to Bryce Reiner. I hadn't driven an LMP2 since it was the top car in IMSA style racing, which you guys know, and those who know that's been, I don't know, 3-4 years maybe, before picking it up here for this season. So I had a lot of learning to do. I had a huge learning curve, and Bryce was the absolute most perfect helper that I could have asked for to get me up to speed with his help and his knowledge of this car, because he ran fixed and open sets on this thing for a while, and he really helped, not just tonight with trying to help me figure out if it was worth it for me to bring the pace down by 25% fuel burn per lap for about an hour to try to get this thing done. We sent him off pushing to try to get as far away as he could. And it just ended up with I don't know. I'm extra tangent like tonight compared to normal, so I apologize to you guys and the viewers, but yeah, Bryce is probably the number one reason that I'm even sitting here talking to y'all today about this. So thanks to him. He's a good person. He's a good friend. And he is just an absolute ace in these prototype cars. And if he can put it all together for a season, I'm not touching him. Dace ain't touching him. That just is what it is. The season long thing, though, yeah. I mean, I just wanted to minimize the poor results at the start while I was getting my feet wet. As you said, finally was able to break through, and that put some confidence on it. But the last couple of weeks, I feel like it's actually really, really clicked. And if we look back to maybe a year and a half ago when we did 2-car lock here, and I just ran a Mustang for the whole season, and by the end of that, I was like, this car is actually just clicking with me. It kind of felt like we got there to a degree. If it was head-to-head me and Dace, I don't know that I would have had the pace for him, but I don't know, maybe I would have had the brain, maybe I would have had the strategy to beat him at the end. But I think he probably would have outpaced me. But I don't think it would have been how it would have been near the beginning of the season where he was winning by 10, 20 seconds. So, yeah, we definitely made some growth here. We made some strides, and we got out at the right time.
Well, that's exactly what you needed, especially with the 2-hour season finale being double points here. Helped you out to get this championship here once again. So, congrats on that, being the season 16 overall champion, obviously in the LMP2 Pro class as well. Season 17 not too far on the horizon, but before that, talk to Jim about it, and mentioned it to the CRN fans out there as well. As we got an event coming up that I know you're a big fan of as well, the CRN Cup coming up. I'm sure you're already looking forward to getting out there and mixing it up with everybody else in the other leagues.
Yeah. You guys, you guys do an amazing job, not just with broadcast side of things, but the way that you keep your participants engaged is second to none. And I thank you for it. I love this CRN Cup. I love the Drivers Cup that you guys do. I don't think I've gotten a chance to be a part of that yet, just schedule wise, but yeah, I'm looking really, really forward to doing that, and it's always a good time to get the leagues. You guys watch these things and you see, oh, okay, these guys usually run up front here, these guys usually run up front here, but it's hard to cross compare until you put us all together. And that's an awesome way to bring us together. So really looking forward to that event, and really looking forward to next season here as well. It's awesome to be back under your, I believe, for the 11th season of broadcast time.
It's been so damn many. I've lost count.
I'm
excited to be part of another one.
It's also 10:25 p.m. So we'll give you an extra pass there. But
I got to practice for the mile yet, so that's fine.
It's true. Yeah, Majors is going to be a great show. Looking forward to hitting the GTP for a change here with Bryce and Rich Petrucco and our buddy Christian, who does not have any Wednesday night time to be here at CSRL. But maybe we'll get in the same split for Majors. That'd be cool. I saw you guys in the sign up and was hopeful that maybe we could share the track, but we'll see how it goes. And I wish you guys luck. I wish all the participants out there that are watching this that are going to do Majors this weekend luck. It should be very fun.
Well, hopefully, for your case, we don't get in the same split. It's just save your car out there. Well, either way, definitely wish you luck this season. But congrats on the season that you put together here for season 16 and CSRL. Before we let you go, one last time, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, massive thanks to CRN, Core Racing Network. You guys are awesome. We love having our shenanigans showcased in your channels, and all the viewers of CRN out there. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Huge thanks to the league. We hit 40 registrants to the race. I think we put 38 on track. So either way, that is still amazing to spend an extra hour of your night here with us at CSRL tonight. Thanks to the participants, the admin team here. Everybody has been really on it this season. It's been a pretty smooth season, especially for all of the the degree of changes that we rolled out here going multi-class. We've had some tensions with it being a new thing for a lot of people, but overall it's been really smooth and really well done. So Jim Dutton, Tyler Tourville, Bill Burrow, running to Lima. My gosh, my brain is so freaking scrambled, guys. I can't even remember what I'm saying 2 seconds ago. The whole admin team. Sorry to anybody that I missed out there. Rich, I already thanked him for DSS, but Yeah, and on a bit of a personal note, this is actually the final CSRL race for Digital Sim Sports. We're evolving to a new name and new colors and everything for next season. So it's really amazing to see something that I helped build and be successful with for a little over 3 years. I'm sorry, a little over 4 years, become, its next evolution. So stay tuned for that. Really excited about what we're going to bring to the table next season with Velocity. And all of my family, mom, dad, and Sandy, Anna, Uncle Lee, Chris, I thank my support system more than anything because it's truly who makes me who I am and why I'm here today. So, Jimmy, Carl, thank you so much. I can't wait to put it on the boards again in season 17, and hopefully it's got a 1 next to that number 97.
Absolutely. Well, certainly take some time to celebrate this one. Head over to Canada Corner, do a little celebrate. I'll let you watch a broadcast and understand what I'm talking about for that one. But either way, congrats on the win here tonight, the win for the season. And we'll see you in a few weeks here for season 17 and the CRN Cup.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, guys.
That is your winner here tonight, and the championship winner as well for the season, Craig Jancic, and the number 97. We do got one more. Took a little bit. Maybe he already headed himself over to Canada Corner, but we had to reel him back in and get him in here for his interview. He finished second in the LMP or the GT3 Pros tonight, but finished top spot in the championship. Jimmy, it's going to be the 11 of Christian Ortiz Torres.
Hey, Christian, it's good, always good to a chance to talk to you out there, and obviously save the best for last, right? The 11 had its challenges here tonight. I've seen you get sideways a few times, and obviously you didn't have challenges throughout the season, or you wouldn't be in this spot here. But you walk away, for the GT3 AM's champion, and it's always good to have good people out there, and somebody that's out there each and every week and try your hardest, and that's what you put on here tonight. You kept at it. You didn't let it get you down. You bring this thing back in second place for the GT3 AMs, and I think it was 4th overall for the GT3. So congratulations, man. Give us a little rundown of your race, and then a little bit on how your season was.
Yeah, thank you guys. Today was a crazy night. So I started up with a good qualifying lap, and I was trying to keep up with the guys up front, trying to just stay on the lead, but unfortunately I think I spun on turn number 8 and going into before the carousel, and that was kind of like a downer. I was trying to get back there and catch up with the guys. Luckily, I didn't lose that many positions, so I kept going. I told myself we still got a long ways to go, so I kept going. Took my pit stop where I was going to switch tires, and I come out of the pits, and I'm like, why am I slipping on every corner? And yeah,
how's the wet tires work?
I'm like, maybe it's just cold tires. And then I look down at the screen, and I'm like, oh, it says wet.
Probably had more grip driving through the grass than the gravel.
Yeah, so. I went back into the pits to change, and luckily it was on time where I didn't have to go an additional pit stop. I was behind, and it was going to be difficult to catch up to the guys, and then I kept spinning on the same turn. So yeah, not the best night, but good stuff from everybody. Shout outs to Wookie, Logan, Branson, who took the win today. Good job for him. That was a good run from him.
Yeah, it's always good to get out there, and I know Wookie a little bit. And he'd entertain me during the afternoon a little bit when he was driving, and I was had some time to have something on in the background while I worked, and give me something to kind of chuckle at, and and watch him race during the day. So yeah, I know Wookie just a little bit, so a fan of his a little bit, and try to get out there and support the small time streamers, because you never know who you're going to find out there. And I was just talking, obviously we got the chance to talk to him, and it's kind of one thing. It was, I chat with him in his room, and you could hear him talk, but I think it was finally the same time for him to kind of get up here, and I realized who he was, and I was like, now you can hear each other's voice to the guy on the other side. So that's nice to have people get a chance to get some great finishes and some recognition. But obviously, it all goes to you tonight, bro.
yeah, thank you guys. Definitely. Shout outs to him, and outside of the league, we race with Black Saturn Racing, and then there's this him, also Caesar, who was on the leads for points tonight, wasn't able to make it, so that was unfortunate. Who knows?
Yeah, we've seen one upset. Yeah, we've seen one upset tonight. Obviously with Dace kind of dominating the LMP2 pros, and then having the incident early on, and Craig just continuing, and just I don't know how narrow the points were yet, but obviously being able to flip the role there at the end and walk away the champion for over there at the LMP2 pros. But it's something you need to obviously compete each and every week and do your best, and that's what you put together this season. It got you that win, and maybe, who knows, maybe we'll start seeing that number 11 even up there in the top 3, and finishing and starting winning some of these things.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to come back next season and keep working hard and trying to get better.
Well, we appreciate you coming out each and every week and putting on a great show. Again, congratulations from us here at CRN, and we're going to go ahead and give you some time for any shouts you might have before we let you out of here.
Definitely you guys, CSRL, everybody out there who's driving and coming up to put on a fun time, competitive, fun, exciting, and definitely shout outs to my family, my girlfriend, Brooke, and all the guys out there from Black Saturn Racing. Thank you guys, and
well, again, we appreciate the shout outs, and like always, congratulations, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thank you guys.
Yes, sir.
That is your championship winner here for the season in the the GT3 AM class, Christian Ortiz-Torres, and the number 11. That's going to put a wrap on season number 16. You heard season 17 going to be coming up in a few weeks, and we'll certainly be looking forward to that, as we'll be back on board here once again with CSRL. So thank you to Jim and all the sponsors, the admins that want to keep bringing us back for whatever reason, whether they like hearing us, whether they like dealing with us, or whether they just don't feel like finding anybody else. Either way, we will we'll continue to keep rocking here at CSRL and putting on their great shows that they've been doing out here, and hopefully they get some great car counts like they did this season come next season. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in tonight. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and maybe check out the other race, which I believe is still going on for Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series. But for myself and Jimmy here from the Road America and Canada Corner, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.